Well, now there's more PlayStation games in that intro now because they're on PlayStation.
Yeah,
Okay.
hey, it might as well add Helldivers. Democracy.
Welcome everybody to, oh my gosh, what episode are we up to? 43, 44, 43.
I know it because I'm
I don't know. Welcome everybody
43.
to ADS. This week we sadly do not have Soul. He has a lot of life admin things going on in the background, so he's stepped out this week. But you still have myself and Nero. You know, we can still
Yeah.
hold down the fort and be silly buggers. I'm just going to say hi to Reese and hi Pyro. Welcome everybody who is watching us live, whether that is on Twitter, on YouTube, or even on Twitch. Appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to kick into it and just find out what Nero has been grifting on this week. Just have to troll you, Nero. No, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? I'm so glad to hear that you are better this week, by the way. So kudos to that. We have you back in action as per usual. How have you been?
I've been doing pretty good, man. I'm happy to be over that cold. I'm happy to be back with you, Panda, with the community. Shout out Soul, man. You know. But game wise, Final Fantasy remake.
Yep.
I finished that. I loved it. It was really good. I enjoyed it, man. I'm interested. I like the characters, man. At first,
That
I
was
was
the
kind of like hesitant.
first one. Not you haven't played Rebirth yet.
Nah, I just started Rebirth.
Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up on sale. It just went on sale. It happened to go on sale right as the day after I beat 7 Remake recently. I enjoyed it, man. Really good game, man. I do got my critiques with the like just dumb activities throughout sometimes, just slowing up the game down. So I'm interested to see how I'm gonna feel about Rebirth as I play that, since it's like, more open, bigger scope. Hopefully it's just not a lot of those type of activities, man, when it really slow the game down and force you to do like just dumb activities.
Yeah.
But the story, the music, the combat, the characters, the voice acting, the gameplay, everything makes up for those critiques, man. So I really enjoyed it. But yeah, man, I'm waiting for Assassin's Creed Shadows. 4 more days. Got it pre-ordered. I'm excited.
I'm trying to talk my way out of buying that day one because I don't need to buy it day one. Even though I really want to support the game and that, I'm like, financially speaking, no, not financially, I can afford it. It's more around like just the amount of games in my backlog that I really need to clear out before I pick it up.
I feel you. And I've been forcing myself to try to knock things out. Like,
yeah.
And if I click with it, I get through it. Like trying to knock out Horizon, because that's 100. See, what I do when I play games too is I go by like the storage, because you know me, I'm an ADHD gamer. I like playing stuff, and it's like if I uninstall a game and it's like a story game, I want to have it finished. You know, I want to have it gone. So. Did I mention I platinum RoboCop? Because I know you said you was playing that too.
I haven't platinumed it. I was like, do I go back and do another playthrough? No.
I think no. You can actually load in, because they didn't have this.
Plus, right?
They have New Game Plus, but they also make it easy. You can load into the chapters as well. You can load your saves, and so on Xbox, I only got 2 missed achievements. And I already got it downloaded. I'm gonna load in one of these days. All I gotta do is load in and go to the setting area. You'll see, because you probably only got the same few achievements missing as well. But you can do
the secret area in the arcade. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a couple achievements I'm missing on there, so I'm probably gonna go back and do that. That is just such a great game. I can't stand by that game enough.
Yeah. Just calling everyone in the chat. What have you been playing? Hopefully you've managed to, I don't know, finish a game recently. It's really hard with ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So hard to finish a game with ADHD, honestly. Hopefully you've done better than me. Mind you, I am very proud of myself this week. I rolled credits on Split Fiction. So finish that.
Oh, good for you.
I need to go and finish all the achievements. So good. Like, even the ending, like, was just fantastic. Like, I talked about this game to like crazy last week, where I was trying not to do spoilers, and I'm still trying not to do spoilers because I know that there are so many people who haven't had a chance to play this game. But like some of the things in it where you just come like there'd be a scene and I'll be like, it's from this game, or it's from this game, or it's from this game,
Hmm.
or it's like a little like, Easter egg from a movie, and it's just so good. I think like so much in that game could be its own standalone game.
Definitely.
And it's just so slight spoiler, but there's like a ping pong section. Oh, not
Hmm.
ping pong. Sorry. What is it? Where you're
Tennis.
no. It's in the arcade. It's the pinball. No, I
A
can't think of
pinball machine.
pinball. Yeah, there's like a
Okay.
pinball section in there, um, which is so cool. I don't even know the name of that, but like, yeah, yeah. Um, so rolled credits on that. Finished that. Um, like I said, want to go finish the achievements on that one. There's one achievement that I've read up on, and I was like, "Fuck, this is going to take ages." Because
Mm.
like there's this section where you can't let this bomb explode through
Hmm.
the whole way through the sequence, um, and you get an achievement without it exploding. And I'm like, oh, you'd have to be really good and like really communicate well in order to not fuck it up. um, and I rolled credits on RoboCop.
Love
So
it.
yeah, I just finished that yesterday and thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a really good ending because there's like 3 endings, so I only
Hmm.
know 2 of the endings. I don't know what the third ending is. Does anyone know what the third ending is? Yeah.
Well, this playthrough, I just tried to be as strict and as evil
Oh,
as possible, and
oh, you mean you didn't serve the public trust? No one had trust in you at all?
nah, not at
You
all.
were like ticket, 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 ticket.
Yep. Hey, you break the law and you shall comply, or hey, it's going down. It's going down on the
Yeah.
scene. And a reminder about that game, we got that expansion
No, it's a
DLC
standalone
come
game. It's not.
a standalone. Okay,
Yeah, it's like
I'm
I think it's a prequel to RoboCop Rogue City, from my understanding.
hey, that's lovely. I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna be out there to support them.
Mm.
So yeah, that's nice. And this is what week. I've lost how many episodes, but this is probably week 10. I'm gonna say, and that's a huge exaggeration of telling Panda to go finish Indiana Jones. One of these pods, she's gonna come on here one of these Saturdays, guys, and she's gonna be like, I finished it. It was a masterpiece.
It's literally installed, ready to go. I was trying to decide what I wanted to play next after finishing RoboCop, and I was like, Indiana Jones or Kakarot, and I
Hmm.
loaded up Kakarot. I probably will put that on pause and go play Indy instead,
Hmm.
because I feel like that'll be a shorter game that I want to play before Clear Obscure's Expedition 33 comes out and before South of Midnight comes out. But yeah, no, so good.
Two great games, man.
Too many fucking games, man. Too many good
Yes.
games. And
Excited for South of Midnight
yeah, I'm
and
excited for that.
Expedition.
Yes,
Uh,
100%
and
excited
that
for
and that game
Expedition.
is not even expensive. Like I'm tempted to support them for 40. It was $50, and I think on Xbox and on PlayStation, if you got Game Pass or PS Plus, it's a little discount. It's not much; takes about $4 or $5 off. But that game just looks so good, man. And shout out Game Pass. A lot of great games coming, man. And I just got a feeling. And look, I've been saying it. Now look, everybody want to call me what you want, but I've been saying it dating back how many episodes now, Panda? I've been saying that Assassin's Creed, and y'all know Ghost of Tsushima is one of my all-time favorite games. Now I just platinum that. I've been
Mm,
saying that Shadows has the potential and will and can be better
yeah,
than Ghost of Tsushima, man. I've been saying that. I've been saying that since day one, man. And the more I see of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the more I'm solidified with that.
yeah.
So, with that being said, Panda, what is your final Metacritic prediction? Because I'm gonna say 87, but realistically, maybe an 85 around that range. But I want to shoot,
For Shadows,
yeah.
from what I'm seeing of it, I think it's going to be I don't even know what the last one scored, actually, to be honest. That might help me understand where I think this is going to land.
I think
Um,
Valhalla was like a 80,
oh, I think it's going to be a score higher
81.
than Valhalla. Um, I'm hoping an 84, 85. It would be nice, but I also have no idea where it's going to land because you can't really predict what it's going to be. I feel like OpenCritic, it's a little bit easier. They usually score maybe slightly higher than Metacritic.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, 84, 85. I was just going to say, I want to know what their argument was around trying to convince you to not get a Series X
Oh yeah, let me bring
digital.
that back up.
Yeah, I wanted to go, what was their argument?
Yeah,
um,
shout out G Mark Lewis, man. Saying a Sony fanboy GameStop employee didn't want me buying an Xbox Series X digital. It was funny watching him trying to convince me not to get it. Yeah, man, a little bit of the
context,
tea, man,
yeah.
a little context, man. We want to know, what was he saying? What was the drawbacks, man? What do he know as a GameStop employee that we don't know right here? That's been playing the Series X since it dropped. He's
Mm,
bugging. It's a great
yeah.
time to get a Series X. If
I
anything, it's the
also
best time to get one.
it is a really good time, I think, just to be a gamer in general, especially having access to Game Pass.
For sure.
What I guess my concern around the review scores for Assassin's Creed Shadows is just the controversy around it. So I think that might mean it might take a hit. So if it
Yo,
gets like,
shout out to Ubisoft. Did you see how they
yeah,
fought back at Grumps? That idiot.
what do they
They
do?
they
I try not to watch his shit because
nah,
he's
the
annoying.
Assassin's Creed account replied, man. They replied to him. They said some slick shit, and put him in his place, man. Game Pass actually did too recently. We tried to say that Game Pass was virtue signaling, and not to bring light to him. It's just nice to see these companies and Twitter accounts and handles snap back like, yo,
I mean,
I love
Grums
to
is
see
the
that.
guy who complained about Starfield's title screen.
Yeah, man,
Like,
idiot.
you
But
don't play a
I
title
don't know.
screen.
I
Like,
might be a fool, but I'm just feeling confident about AC, man.
I'm
I
I
think
have a lot of
Ubisoft
love
has
for that
been.
franchise.
Yeah, me too. And it's like Ubisoft has they misses, but Ubisoft does good games too. People,
Yeah, that's true.
the division is good games. I want
Hmm.
a new division.
Which they're working on,
They
but fingers crossed, all this controversy that's happening in the field doesn't mean that it disappears.
facts. Sadly, Prince of Persia was a masterpiece, but people didn't really support that. Just like gamers didn't really support Hi-Fi
I'll
Rush.
be honest, I didn't
So
support it, and that's because I suck at that gameplay.
I feel you. I
I
feel you.
know where my weaknesses lie.
That was a really good game, man. But
It looked beautiful though. I
they
played the
make.
version
I
again.
mean, I finished Valhalla last year. Valhalla was a good game, man. I enjoyed Valhalla. I think the thing with Assassin's Creeds, right, especially like because you can have fandoms within the overall fan base. Like you can love
Mm,
Assassin's Creed, but you might not love that certain period, that certain era. Like
yeah,
I'm not a fan of Odyssey. I've said that multiple
yeah.
times, but I love Valhalla because I love the Vikings. I love being able to call in, get the horn, raid the shores, go in there and take the gold on some real
Mm.
Vikings. Like to me, that's
Yeah,
fun. That's super
I
fun.
loved Origins because I don't know, Egyptian stuff.
Yeah,
Just
see
cool.
that same. That's beautiful. My only problem was the leveling in Origins, but they fixed that in the sequel, so I can't
Yeah,
really
they did. They
complain too
did.
much. But I love being the Native American with Connor in 3. I
Mm.
love being hired in Black Flag. Ezio is Ezio. So depending on where you go, if
Did
you're
you
a
play
fan of that,
Rogue? You
yes,
did?
yes. Rogue is an underrated game in my opinion, man, because Rogue dropped on the last gen consoles. What was it, on the 360 and
Yeah,
the PS3 when
yeah.
Black Flag dropped as an exclusive from the Xbox One and PS4, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. So a lot of people didn't really care or play Rogue, but they
No, I
remastered
did.
it, and it looks really good on the Series X. If you see it on sale, it's called Assassin's Creed Rogue
I
Remastered.
still have
I
to
enjoy
finish Syndicate, to be honest. I
Syndicate.
started
That's
it.
the one with the siblings, right?
Yeah, that's the one with the
Yeah,
siblings.
I have to finish that too.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones I didn't finish. I think that may be one of the only ones I didn't, or the
And
only
I
few I didn't
have
finish.
I started Black Flag, but it's the I don't like ship combat.
Mm.
I really don't like it in video games. Like, if there was a slider for me just to turn it off, I know why they have it in there. Obviously, you're pirates, like you're like why you have to have it in that sort of game. It's just
Yeah.
I like being on land.
I feel you. I will say it's a rumor that they're remaking or remastering Black Flag
Like,
because
yeah, we talked about
knowing
it.
you, I think you will enjoy what's on the land, the exploration part. If you
Oh
can
yeah,
get
I've
past
enjoyed
that,
what's
like,
on when I've been on an island and like running around and doing all the stuff on there. I've really enjoyed that.
did you get the diving bell?
No idea.
Okay,
Can
because for
ask me.
me, the diving bell was when Black Flag really felt like a game changer.
Mm.
Because you get the diving bell and you go underwater. They had the whole underwater. Ubisoft flushed it out. You got sharks. You got to swim. You got to still be stealthy like an assassin, but underwater you got to go try to get the
Ooh.
seaweed. That was really dope. And for the time, I was like, yo, that's innovation. And that's why I love Ubisoft, man. People can say what they want, but they definitely innovate and push things forward.
So, my favorite part, like about stuff, like I love Sea of Thieves, but I like being on the land and
You
Sea
like being on land more?
or like doing the stories and stuff. I feel like I avoid the ship combat in Sea of Thieves. It's just not my cup of tea. I love being in the open water, but the combat, no, no, no.
Shout
I
out
like
Reese. He said it took me three tries over a few years, but I'm finally enjoying Far Cry 6, man. Yeah, shout out Reese, man. Far Cry 6, man. Far Cry 6 is a good game, man. Ubisoft games, sometimes you got to go back to really appreciate them, man. And that's why I say all the people that's rooting for Ubisoft downfall and rooting for them to fail, when you go back and revisit some of these games down the line and they cease to exist or these IPs just cease to fall through the cracks, like, you know, how can you be for gaming if you want that to happen, man?
yep.
Uh,
All right.
you know,
Well, let's crack into some quick news.
let's get
Um,
it.
yeah, yeah. If you want to run us through that quick news there, Nero.
All right. Shit, hey, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 3 is officially in development. Love to see it.
I'm so happy
That is
about
that is
that.
an amazing game, man. Y'all know me. I'm the double dipper. I'm the double dip king. I'm a double dip and get that shit on PlayStation if it go to
You're
30.
gonna need a triple dip, man. Get a PC.
Yeah, you know the PC handheld. I mean, depending on we gonna touch on that later in the show. We gonna touch. We got some topics around that. Phil Spencer got some things in the work that he told me. I'm in cahoots with Phil. Phil told me to hold off personally.
Yep.
I talked to Phil. I said, yo, Phil, what should I do? He said, yo, Nero. He said, go get the pro. I said, bet. I said, you sure, Phil? That don't make sense. He said, nah, it makes
What's
sense.
up,
Go get
Becca?
it. He said, you held off. Go get the pro. I said, bet. And then I said, yo, so
Mm.
what PC should I get? He said, yo, no, 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 no. Just wait. I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Yo, just rock out with that P5 and that Series X. Just wait, we got something for you." So I'm sitting back, man. I'm sitting back. I'm trusting Phil. I'm trusting Sarah and Satya. I'm trusting the
Yeah.
guys. But
Yeah.
Warhammer Space Marine 3 is in development, man. 2 was amazing. You played 2, Panda?
No, I'm waiting for it to go on sale. I'm one of
You
those assholes.
I know. Look, no, no, no. You're smart. Nothing is wrong with waiting for sale. That's how people always ask me, "How do you get so many games?" Like people don't realize I always shop on sales. Like because if you keep an eye on the store, it's always some good sales in the
Yeah.
Xbox store and in the PlayStation store. The amount of
I just
games I have
I
bought
bought,
in this generation is crazy.
KCD1 for, like, $13.
It's literally on sale for 7 right now in the PlayStation store.
Yeah, so
So
equivalent of that would be about $13 in New Zealand, so yeah.
yeah, see,
Yeah.
it's always good sales, and always adding to the backlog, man. That's why I be confused when people be like, "Oh, it's this generation. It's not the good games. It's not what. It's so many great games, man.
Mm,
I just seen Jedi Survivor in order in a package for $17. Like
I'm
that's
just
a
gonna
steal.
play Survivor on Game Pass because it's in Game Pass through EA Play. That's how I played the first one, Fallen Order, and that's how I'm
Hmm.
going to play the second one. I was actually umming and ahhing whether or not I play that as my next game, but I was like, no, it's going to take too much time. I'm better off probably playing indie. So that's what I should do, play indie, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
please. Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna keep saying that. That is a
play it,
great game, and
play
it
it,
don't
Dan.
take long.
Play it.
You get through that and you straight. But yeah. So Space Marine 2, I really enjoyed it. Um, really good game. It had really fun co-op, fun multiplayer. Um, it's just great, good story in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I hope they make the story even longer because I
Mm.
really enjoyed that, man. It gave me old Gears of War vibe. It gave me that 360 uh just tough, manly, Gruden, just out
Do you
there
know
with the
what
bros vibe, you know?
I like about the Space Marine series?
What's
Is
that?
the set pieces. It's what I liked
Mm.
about the
Mm-hmm.
original Gears trilogy was the set pieces, and it's what I love about Split Fiction is the giant set pieces, and that's what I feel like Gears of War 4 and 5 were kind of missing, the big set
Yeah, I
piece
agree.
type sequences. But yeah, no, that's what I
Instead,
love
we got
about
Kate on a sled getting a headache in the snow. You know what I'm
it.
saying? like, nah,
Way
man.
to oversimplify
You know, I'm
it.
just throwing it out there, man. I enjoy, I'm a December northern baby, so I love the snow, but I was not a fan of that red sandy area. God darn it.
Mm,
Less of that. Look, I'm sorry, hot take. I want Halo and Gears to go back to
yeah.
more confided chapter to chapter gameplay.
Okay.
I'm a fan of that. I like
That's
that.
what that's what I was saying about, like, who was I talking to? I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was talking to because I'm a Nintendo fan. Like, I grew up on Nintendo.
Mhm.
I grew up playing the Legend of Zelda series, and I was like, as much as I love Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I want them to go back to proper temples and like getting your equipment, and
Mhm.
I just want some of that. Like, I love that style. Like, probably won't go back because of the way that the amount of sales they got off Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but like I just I just want them to go back to their greatness that they were.
I just feel like
Those
it's still love and room to be
yeah.
had for those more linear direct games. Nothing wrong with, like, you can have a chapter to chapter game. Look, even y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of Uncharted as a whole as a series, but I love Uncharted 4.
I've never heard you
Uh
say
that
anything about that before.
Hey, I was well now I'm gonna be open. I hate the whole
I know,
series
I know,
except
I'm just
four.
teasing. It's
Everything,
like
but
when
oh,
you're
I
like,
know.
"Aloy
I
is
love
the most
every chapter.
boring
Hey,
person." Wait,
I
I've
never
never
said
heard you
that.
say that about her.
I never shared my thoughts. Let me say what I feel about Nathan Drake and Aloy now that I'm here. Now I'm just playing, but I really enjoy four. I think four is some of the best pacing in a video game ever. And my biggest problem with 1 through 3 was bad pacing.
Yeah.
So I love when pacing is good. Space Marines got good pacing. Uncharted 4 got really good pacing. And I feel
Mm,
like when you do the chapters real, you can go all over the place. You can
yeah.
have a 20 chapter Gears of War game and have us see so many different locales and areas. You know, Space Marines is proof of it. Most recently,
Mm,
Halo used to do well. It's like not everything have to be this open world. And that's
yeah.
why I'm interested to see how much I'm gonna like Final Fantasy Rebirth as I
Yep.
play it.
What I
Because
liked about
what I liked at 7, sorry, is just a chapter to chapter. I'm sorry, I'm just a pro chapter to chapter gamer. God damn it!
yeah, no,
All
you're a
this
good
huge, overly open world, leave it to Ubisoft, guys.
that's what I liked about uh RoboCop was like you had your chapters in there, and you had your little area that you went around in, but then like it was still a very linear experience. Um, and you need that to offset all those crazy open world games that
Mm,
exist, because then you just get open world fatigue.
definitely, that is definitely a real thing. Hashtag make linear games great again. And speaking of Nintendo, Panda, we got a Lego Super Mario Kart coming on May 15th. Are you excited about that?
Always. I love Lego and I love Mario, so like this sounds like it's right up my alley. I am excited about that. We will see how well they execute it though. But any excuse to play more Mario Kart and have Legos is like it's my jam. I love Lego games. All right. I know
Nothing
they're
wrong
not
with that.
really.
I'm not judging you. I only judge
You
you
only
one
judged
time
me for
when
one game.
and say it to the people.
Lego Horizon.
Okay, you say it to the people. Listen to how that sound. That game flopped terribly. That
Yeah,
game was
well,
horrible.
I
You
get to get it
greenlit
on a
that.
really good sale now because it flops so
True.
bad.
That's true. That's true as well. You do get to enjoy Aloy as a. You know, I'm trying to come around on Aloy, man. I got to keep playing Forbidden West, man.
Do
I'm
you
trying
know
to come around.
what would be quite funny is if you played like Lego Horizon, were like, how did they manage to get her to do a better job than actual Aloy in the original games?
That's how I feel like. That's what I feel like is gonna happen, Panda. Truth be told,
Yeah, that's what I feel like is
um,
going to happen. All
I feel
right.
like that's gonna happen.
Cool. Yeah. Forza Motorsport. What's happening in that space?
All right, so we got a nice update with Forza, and let me just give a shout out to Forza and a shout out
Turn
to
10A.
GT7, man. These two games, being able to play them both and putting time into both of them, they do so much good and so much differently, and it really makes you appreciate what each one really shines in. And I'm just I love to see the post launch updates in these games, man. Update 18, that's a lot of updates, man. So we got 5 new cars. Absolutely love to see that. We got HDR improvements and we got matchmaking improvements. We got new events and even more, man. So I love seeing Forza Motorsport get updated. And Forza Horizon also got a nice little update coming,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And I seen they got a plethora of new achievements to add, trophies for the trophy hunters on PlayStation. Man, that's a lot of trophies if you want to get the plat. First of all, anybody out there who got the plat in any Forza or GT7, I would just personally want to tip my hat to you because I be gaming and playing them games, and I look and they achievable, but it's a lot. We got to put time into that, and I absolutely love that. I think in Forza Motorsport, I'm only about 8 achievements off from the full completion.
Damn.
I know I got like 700 something gamer score on that, so I'm not far from that. I might try to plat GT7. It just depends on like how grindy and what they want you to do. Because see, on Forza Motorsport, not to go too deep in it, but it's a achievement where you have to get a certain amount of likes from somebody using your detail or something like that. So I have to
Oh, the
make a custom
decals and that.
design. Yeah, that's tough, man. So maybe I can join a little uh, Forza Motorsport Discord community, and maybe somebody can help me, figure that out.
Xbox
People can go,
Unite. I'm kidding.
nah, for real, gamers unite, man. When gamers unite, it's a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
shout out Turn 10, man. Velocity Month is here. Forza Motorsport Update 18, guys. Jump into that, play that, and love to see it. Next quick piece of news, man. We got Capcom has trademarked Dino Crisis on March 4th in Japan, which went public today. And a lot of these Capcom's trademarks and stuff is becoming from seeing on the Xbox side. So shout out to whatever's going on over there, because I know it's a couple things like the Resident Evil 5 remake and 6 remake was listed in the Xbox store somewhere. So that's dope. But I hope they remake or remaster
Mm.
Dino Crisis. I really hope that happens. I absolutely love to see it. I had never played it, but I
Yeah.
love Capcom, yo. Like I've been loving Monster Hunter, Panda. Like you might have to get that on sale, and I would jump in there. Oh, no, it's not for you. Okay, I'm not even gonna convince you
Yeah.
because I'm not.
No.
I'm not even
No.
gonna try.
No. I've played it, and it's not my cup of tea.
I respect it. This is my first one, and I'm having a really good time. Yo, JD the chef, man, I really appreciate you, man. Your Starfield review made me get back into the game and give it a second chance. Now it's my favorite game currently. Yo, man,
Yeah.
that's what we do, bro. That's why I do what I do. That's why I
Also,
review, man. I love
love the
that.
profile pic. It's
That as
Link
well.
holding the
Pixel Link.
potion. Love it.
Love to see it. Speaking of reviews, man, I'm gonna have a few reviews coming up, man. Splitgate, man, Assassin's Creed, probably Rebirth when I
You
finish
mean
that.
Split
I was,
Fiction?
huh?
You said Splitgate. Or you've
Oh,
been playing
Split. Oh, I said
Splitgate?
no. Split Fiction for sure. But have you seen Splitgate 2? That game
Yeah,
looks good.
it looks good. It
I
looks
did
good.
not get to play the beta, but that game looks really good. Oh, that he's just
What
saying
up,
sup chat.
BitCloud
What up?
Gaming?
What up?
We
What
need to
up,
get
bro?
you on, actually. Would love to get you on. We need to get you on. Welcome. Been
Yep.
loving
Welcome to
loving
everybody
your
in here, man.
loving your content. Yeah.
So yeah, man, Dino Crisis, man. Hopefully we get a little remake and remaster, man.
Mm.
John Wick 5 is officially in the works. So for all the John Wick fans out there, hey, you got another one coming, number 5. Hopefully this don't.
How are they doing another John Wick after the
Uh,
way they finished the last movie?
I'm hoping this don't turns into the Fast and Furious of fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking John Wick 13. You feel me? Like with Kevin Hart and The
I
Rock
want
in
to
it.
see the ballerina one, which is the like it's still within the John Wick world. Um, I'm trying to think who's in it, but I really want to see that one because I think there's like a passing sequence between her and John Wick. So I'm like keen,
Mm.
keen, keen. I mean, I'm excited for John Wick 5, but I'm also like, how do you have a John Wick 5 based off how they finished John Wick 4? Yeah. Who
Well,
knows?
I'm just getting ready for John Wick 6. Stock in John Wick 7 with the homies.
John Wick 13, I'll still be there.
They'll be there. Keanu with gray hair, so
Amazing, amazing.
I'll check it out for sure. Man,
Thank
this
you.
piece of news right here. Yeah, thank you, JD. We appreciate it, man.
We do. We
We
do.
appreciate the channel growing. We appreciate everybody in here, man. Right now, listening to us, 90 people.
Well, I
Appreciate.
do. Nero's a grifter, so you never know.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
According, I let the people judge. I always let the people judge. Hey, I went to court. I've atoned for my crimes. God damn it. Nah.
Oh.
But this piece of news,
I
Panda,
say
is
it with
really good.
love.
Of course. Look, we both because I did you finish one of the Ori games? I feel like you
Yes, the
have.
first one, Ori and the Blind
No,
Forest.
look,
Yeah,
I have to
I'm
finish
got
that.
stuck in Will of the Wisp, and I haven't gone back.
I feel so bad I have not finished those yet. That is
Have you
one of the games that I plan to knock out. But guys, the Ori series, I bought them.
Okay,
So they
you
there.
bought 'em.
They in that backlog. I'm not worried about it. That's why I'm not in. I get to them and enjoying when I get to them. The Ori series has sold over 15 million copies. Absolutely love to see that. Congratulations to them. Um,
Well done.
isn't those guys working on the No Rest for the
No
Wicked game?
rest for the wicked.
I'm
Yep.
extremely excited for that. As soon as that come, that's a day, probably day one for me. I'm probably definitely gonna support it. Reese said he got ran off for Ori.
What do you
Yeah,
mean you got
man.
ran off Ori? Like, explain,
Probably got stuck.
elaborate.
He probably got stuck.
I he probably got stuck. I got stuck in number 2. Like, there's this. I died like over 600 times in number 1. That and it's like it's why I don't play platformers. It's why I didn't pick up Prince of Persia because I was like I stuck out for Ori because it was the story and just being an absolute fun, beautiful game. But it was hard. And there were times where I was like, I don't know how my controller is still alive after this sequence. And yeah, it was a hard game. But it was a great
Yeah,
game. It was a great game.
that's one of the two games where when I finish, I'm feel really proud about finishing. Man, it's just a few of those games that I feel that way about a lot of games. Like I really hope next gen because I don't think it'll happen this gen, but I really hope next gen Xbox really
You were right,
improves
Arrow.
the
He got
achievement
stuck.
system. Yeah, see, he got stuck, got ran
In
off,
which
got
game? The
packed up.
first one or the second one?
Probably both knowing him. Knowing Reese, he got packed up in
How
both.
many people in the chat have finished at least the first Ori? I don't know. It's really it's a hard. It's a game that really tests you as a gamer and tests you around so many different things. So I'm really happy to see that Moon Studios managed to have so much success and has sold over 15 million copies of this. So, like you said, congratulations to them. Definitely well deserved. Ori is cool. Yes, Ori is cool. I agree. But Cloud,
Yeah,
100%.
Ori is dope, man. And like
Yeah.
you said last week, I believe it was a quick topic or a section. We definitely mentioned it, but this Ori 3 is rumored to be being discussed, being talked about. So
I
would
hope
love
so.
to see that.
No, they're not easy by any means. I agree, Reese. Yeah. So
Definitely,
if you
Reese, get
any of
good.
you if you any of you know Risket, he saw some of my gameplay on the previous podcast I used to do, of me playing Ori, and he's like, "Whose gameplay is this? It looks like someone's playing with their feet." And I was like, "I am proud to say it's my gameplay because I suck at these games. So just deal with it." It was fine. It was not great gameplay, but it wasn't like, you know, Cuphead with the journalist who couldn't get through the tutorial sequence. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Definitely an improvement.
Shout out Ori, man. We definitely need games like that, man. The games like that make the industry what it
Mhm.
is: special, diverse, unique. Love to
Yeah,
see it. I'll be there to support No Rest for the Wicked for sure.
I'm
That's
excited for that.
definitely my speed.
It's the art style. I think I'm just so intrigued by how visually
Yeah,
pleasing it
that
looks on
atmosphere
the
is really
eyes,
dope.
that I'm just like, I wanna go in and experience that world and be immersed in it because I just wanna the visual splendor that is, what Moon Studios produces. Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
What's
And
next on our
hey,
list?
Split Fiction has sold over 1 million copies in 48 hours. And Panda just updated me before the show that in the first week, it's about 2 million now
Yep.
officially. So absolutely love to see that. And that's not even including all the friend passes that's out there. So it's probably 3 to 4 million, double that playing. Well, actually, of course, it's double. You can't play the game alone. So,
Yeah.
4 million people playing this game, man. Absolutely love to see it, man. Super dope.
You
I've been
started
having
it,
a
right?
blast.
And
Yes,
you have said you've been enjoying it, and you can
I've
understand
been
why,
loving
like,
it.
my comment last week was, "This is
Yeah,
currently my game of the year."
yeah, easily. And this is and I played Monster Hunter so far. I played Kingdom Come Deliverance too. So I played some bangers and heavy hitters this year. But I can definitely see easily why that game can compete with those easily.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a really good game.
There was a section like,
And I'm at the spot where you fight the dude with the hammer. When you take, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The
I know what
yeah,
you're
that's
talking
that's
about.
where I was at with my homie, man. So that's
Wow,
where
you're
I'm at. Yeah,
still
right
quite
there.
early on in the game.
Exactly. And this
There was
how I
a
feel about it this early. It's so unique.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it. And it was quite interesting because I was getting through to a section where I was like, it feels like it's kind of coming to a precipice where it's gonna finish. And I was like, no, I don't want it to end. And then it doesn't. And I was like, thank goodness. And it just went on for another few, I don't know how many hours it went on for, but it was just fantastic. And then by the time the game ended, I was like, no, why is it over? Um, yeah, you know that a game like that you have that experience or reaction with, is a fantastic game. And now I just want to see what comes next. You haven't missed anything. We're just really going through quick news, not very quick because Panda likes to talk.
Look, I just want to go out and say I feel like personally the quick news is just as important as the main topics. I feel like the quick news, this stuff that we highlight that I put in here throughout the week, this is important stuff, man. I personally,
People miss things, right? Yeah,
yeah, it's really easy to miss things, man. And it's also
I think
just
so.
good to highlight um some really dope stuff. Highlighting Ori sold 15 million copies. I feel like that is a
Um,
worthy achievement that deserves praise.
sorry.
Lit fiction with its success, I love to see it. Panda, I absolutely agree. Like you said, I'm still early, and it's just such a good time, man. Laughing with my bro Rez, man. My homie Rizzy, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, man. Big Rig Rez, man. He a truck driver, but he got his consoles in his truck with him, so it's fun, man. So being able to when he got time to hop
Agree.
on hop on there and play, man. It's just you just absolutely love to see it, man. These games deserve all the success. The split fiction dude is even he's taking GTA. He like, yo, I'm cool. I want GTA to win Game of the Year. I'm just honored that we're.
We would be
I,
among
I
it.
wouldn't say
Yeah.
he said he wanted to win, but he's just understanding. He like, yo, that he want that game. He want to play it too. So it's really
Mm.
dope. And guys, we also got a nice little new update for Avowed that's available. Additional talent
Yes.
points, high contrast documents, which personally I will enjoy read because it's a lot to read in that game. You got the walk toggle, but that's for PC. Shout out to the PC homies. You got more HUD customization, which I'm interested to play with. You got a third person FOV slider, which is really dope. I know a lot of people wanted that. Soul is probably a big fan of that because I know he like playing in
I
third
think
person.
he will be super happy about the FOV slider. Yeah.
Definitely. And you just got overall system and gameplay improvements, and you got bug fixes and more. Shout out to Valve, man. Even with last week, Panda, it was 6 million players within the first month. That was really dope. I will say
Yeah.
after I will say I do wish the game had a new game plus, because I was wanting to jump back in, do a new playthrough, and do all the opposite decisions, but just what.
Well, I agree. I
Mm,
I wish they had a new game plus. But what I was going to say was, if you're going to go play on the hardest difficulty, they've increased the attack speed of all the enemies by 20%. And I'm currently doing a playthrough on the hardest difficulty, and I was like, cool, I should have finished my playthrough before this update happened. Because they hit so hard in that one. And yeah. Mind you, I played it on hard, and then I also finished. I didn't play Robocop on extra hard, but I did play Robocop on hard and finished that. That was good. But yeah, and they've got extra skill points. Reese, you are right. Avowed has confirmed that there is a roadmap on its way. Yeah,
Love to
I'm
see that.
excited. Sorry, I cut you
Definitely.
off, Nero. What were you going to say?
Oh, did you? I didn't even
Yeah, I feel
notice.
like you did.
Oh, I'm just. Oh well. Yeah, I was saying I wish it was a new game plus, because after finishing it, I kind of was attached to my character I finished the game with. I mean, I just finished it because I was so attached and wanted to get a review out, and was enjoying the actual story, main story, just as much as the world and side content as well. So uh, I finished it, and then I'm like, a new game, wouldn't mind doing it, but I'm like, knowing Xbox games, they get supported. Like, even look at this first update, even with
Yeah,
Stalker, even though that's not a first party game. Like, a lot of these games that get updates over time, it's always easy to come back down the road, man, do a new playthrough, or if Xbox got some new hardware coming in a year or two, replay it then. Always can slide back. So it's always good to see Avowed and these any games continue to get updates and support it. Another game that's doing that is Astrobot. That's a single player game, and it's been getting free updates, time
which is
trials.
important.
Yep, I just finished the little trial time Galaxy, and then the little hardcore challenges. Like, just great platforming, man. Really love that game as well. Speaking of Sony, man, Sony Interactive Entertainment and People Can Fly has entered an agreement for a new game prototype based Sony IP codenamed Project Delta. Um, I don't really have too much to say about that. I am intrigued. People Can Fly do
They
play
do
a
shooters,
role with.
right?
Yeah, they do shooters. They play a good role with helping co-develop some gears,
Yeah, yeah. But they helped with
stuff
Gears.
like
They
that.
did
So
Outriders. I
they
think
got
it's
good
kind of
experience.
cool. So it'll be a Sony IP that
Hmm.
they are going to be working on for this. I'm curious as to see what it could be, whether it's Soulcom coming back or something else, because they have a history of doing and working on shooters. So I assume that that would be an IP that they want to either bring to the future, bring come out from living in obscurity and not being used, because there's so many IPs that every publisher is sitting on that they are not using, and I think it's really important that some of these IPs come through into modern day times to create a new fan base, um, because all of us older gamers love them, and it would be nice to kind of show newer gamers why these are such beloved IPs in the first place. Because some of them won't go back and play those old games. Yeah, I'm excited.
Nah,
They
I am
they
too.
are making an Xbox game too. Yes, they are. They're
Yep,
working
yep.
working hard.
They're cooking. I'm interested to see these games come to the light, man. Look, I'm happy that Jim Ryan is out of there. PlayStation, hopefully they got a more sensible approach, and to see them going to People Can Fly is a good sign, in my opinion. And the fact that it's a Sony based IP, like you said, maybe something older, they're bringing to the light. So I'm excited for that, man. Let's see what they cook up. Shout out Reese, definitely they're cooking up an Xbox game as well, and they helping with Gears too. They might be helping with that Gears collection that's coming soon. So let's see how that all works out. Um, Guys,
They're
this is
working for
I
their
love
money.
this. Yeah, they
They're
yo they're
really
earning their
working.
money, man. They earn their money. I absolutely love to see it. Remedy Entertainment confirms Control 2 is now in full production as per their
Yes.
annual report.
About time.
Absolutely love to see
I'm
it.
never gonna get a Quantum Break 2, but I will take a Control 2.
Definitely. Absolutely love Control, love the Alan Wake universe, love Remedy. Period. Remedy are underrated in my opinion. They really be cooking up, man. I will always support them any chance I get. Yo, Lord Roughness, what's good, brother? He says, "Hey Panda, what up, Nero? Sorry I'm late. Just rolled credits on Avowed. 108 hours. Brilliant game. 9 out of 10. Hey man, what's good, bro? Good to have you in here. Absolutely love to hear that. Love to see that. Avowed is a beautiful game, man. We were just talking about it. Huge update that just came. You probably got it yourself since you've been playing,
Mm,
man. So
I just love how
love to see it.
it's always saying hi to me first because I'm more important. I'm kidding.
I mean, technically,
I'm
I just
such a
feel like
troll.
you.
I'm
I
such a
feel like
troll.
he's. I feel like he's reading like the screen. You're on the left side, and
Yeah,
then
I think
everyone is
so.
going
Yeah,
left
we
and right.
read
That's
left
how
and
I
right.
looked at it. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
just gonna take my wins where I can find them, even if I have to make them up. But thank you, Lord Roughness. I'm so glad you enjoyed the game. It is a brilliant game, and yeah.
Shout out everybody rocking with us right now, man. As we about to get into these main topics, man. Over 104 people with us live. Really appreciate everybody. The number is climbing as well. Yo,
Yeah.
Reese said I made sure everybody around me played Control. That is a fact, man. Reese is my homie, man. That's the Brody. He did send me Control, and he pretty much stayed on my back until I finished it because he know how much I liked it, Alan Wake, and I ended up loving Control. Like I absolutely loved it, and I'm really looking forward to
There's like
whatever
a
they
feel
cook up
like there's
next.
a control sequence in Split Fiction as well. I feel like they took some inspiration
Mm.
from Control and put it into Split Fiction. You'll
I
know it if
will say the
you
more
see
I
it.
see, the more I play, and like you said, I'm early in the game. I'm already noticing these the way this game is playing tribute and homage to some of the great games. This game is wonderful. This game is spectacular. They deserve all the sales, all their monies. They deserve the monies. This is a great game, man. Split Fiction. Hey man, if GCA don't drop, man, game of the year is already looking tough, man. We got some great stuff, man. Yeah,
I'm not
man.
taking
Lord
a dribble.
Roughness. Next time, put my name first, bro. Like next time, just say what up, Nero. What up, Panda? Like you can switch it up. I ain't want to say nothing, but I was kind of hurt.
You
I
know
was
what?
like,
He's
damn,
gonna put
Panda first
Soul
again.
first now, and then me, and then you last.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Hey, we started. Okay, so there has been a time change in the United States. So they've gone what, forward an hour, back an hour. I don't know anymore. It's confusing. They've hit daylight saving, so 7 p.m. Eastern is now an hour earlier. So the show went live for me at 12 instead of 1, and then yeah, so blame the United States for the change in time, but it is still 7 p.m. Eastern. It's just that their clocks went forward an hour. Yeah, I feel like,
All
yeah,
right.
forward,
Yeah,
forward,
yeah. Time
went
time
forward.
change. Time change. That's what that is, man. Shout out to Panda for still making it work, still coming here, being consistent with her little
Well,
glowing
I will
skin.
never forget that I was late for our first show by an hour because I didn't know last year that the time had changed. Um, Also, like, we're almost. I feel like was our first show on like the 18th last year? I don't know. I can't remember, but I feel like we're now hit a year doing ADS.
Wow.
Wow.
Where the time goes. We're still here, man. We're still here because we love the community. I love this, man. I love interacting with all you guys, man. Everyone that's in here. Blame the U.S. for literally everything right now. Exactly. I was on my way to blaming. Never mind. We're not going to. I was just going to point a couple elbows towards a couple people, man.
It's still a few weeks before the time changes for me as well, Lord Roughness, so it'll move to 11 a.m. my time again. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I love it. But yeah, blame the US.
But man, let's
Oh,
get into these main topics, yo. Because I'm gonna be honest. For the first one, yo, call me what you want. I got a take on this one. So look, Windows Central. I'm gonna give Jazz his credit. Shout out Jazz. He broke this. But Hip Hop Gamer is also claiming he broke this as well. So it's a few people that's claiming they broke this in the Twitter journalist community streets. I just sit back and report the news to my podcast community, but they
I'm just
be out
gonna
there.
quickly move us over.
Yeah, go into that. Look how she so effortlessly transitioned that screen to right here. It's screen. Look, there go Jazz name. Everybody can say ADS. We hit. Look, it's he wrote it. You give
Continue.
yes, we get fly. I'm gonna continue. All right. Look, Xbox gaming handheld planned later this year. Codename Keenan. With a full next gen console coming later this year. Now, other sources also came out after this saying that this handheld is kind of like a team up with maybe an
Asus.
Asus or something like that. And I personally, if Xbox and Microsoft put out a handheld and I don't feel like it's on the same exact quality as a Switch, with what the Switch, because what I don't have a Switch one, but I'm excited for the Switch 2. What I love about the Switch is you can play your games locally, your library locally. If you download a game on your Switch that you own or that you bought or put your cartridge in, if you're in the middle of the mountains with no internet or no service, to me
Mhm.
that's the point of having a damn handheld. So if your handheld is not doing that, the Portal is really dope. It's a streaming device, but at the same time, the Portal is $199. You know what I'm saying? The Elite
Yeah.
controller is 160. So when you compare, I mean, the Portal is they both, to me, they both worth it. That's me personally. You stream your library now with the PS Plus editions, and you can with your library stream it from your actual console. So you really got access to all of your games. But for me, if I get an Xbox handheld, I want it to be a dedicated Xbox handheld, like strictly from them, playing my own library, being able to play my games locally,
Yeah.
because that's what I want, and that's what I want from a future Sony handheld as well. And it's like, if you're
Mm.
not doing that, then I'll just invest into the Switch 2 as far as my dedicated main handheld.
I think just listening to what they're talking about, the fact that it's unifying sort of Windows and Xbox, and we know this isn't the official Xbox handheld that should be launching with next gen. This
That's
is
what I'm excited
a
for.
collaboration with Asus on this, and I think it's really a good way for them to test out. And they've talked about it. If you've read any of the details around this, sounds like they're going to use this to get, I guess, some research and understand a little bit around how that market works in more detail, and just kind of figure out how they bring the proper Xbox experience into a handheld in collaboration with the Windows PC experience. So I'm actually really excited about this handheld, and I know that there are a lot of people who probably want to pick this handheld up day one because it's rumored to be releasing this year. Um,
I'm excited if the price is right.
yeah, I
I'll
think
say
for
that.
me, we don't know enough about it.
Hmm.
I'm excited around just the idea of it, and we've been talking about this consistently for the last few years anyway. I think price point is going to be a massive thing. I think if they're going to deliver it, it needs to be in on par with the Switch price, to add that extra bit of competition. But I don't know if they'll be able to hit that necessarily. I do like the fact that they're doing this in collaboration with Asus. Because like Steam Deck is doing their thing, they've done their collaboration unit with Lenovo, and so it makes sense that they go with Asus for this. And then it's just a great way for people to like bring the Game Pass experience to the handheld. And I think it's really important that that play anywhere side of things goes hand in hand with this. So if you're playing your game on your handheld, then you can immediately pick it up again where you left off, whether you're playing it on PC or whether you're playing it on console, or even whether you're playing it through the cloud if you're choosing to go cloud gaming in that regard. Um, am I right in thinking that there was going to be? I feel like I've read something that there was going to be like a Steam store in it. Am I mishearing that? Maybe I don't know. There's
I'm
been
not
so
sure.
many
Yeah,
things
it's a lot of
that
things
have
being
been
said.
said about this.
That's why I'm on a
That
wait and see approach.
yeah,
I can't
and
get too excited, especially considering if Xbox really is making a dedicated handheld themselves in a year or two. I'll personally just wait for that because that's where my
Yeah.
library is I have a huge own library there. So it's like I'm not too like as far as branching out. Like the ecosystem I'm about to branch out to. I'm deeply invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. So a
Mm.
handheld from there is a thumbs up. I'm deeply invested in the Xbox ecosystem. So a handheld for them is a thumbs up. The
Yeah.
ecosystem I'm not invested in is Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I want to because there's so many Nintendo games I look at from outside looking in, and I can just be like, "Yo, that's dope, that's dope." But I just didn't feel like I didn't jump in early with the Switch, and I always felt like the power was lacking. So I'm happy I held off, and with the Switch 2, uh, about to be fully revealed real soon, it's just like how many handhelds can we invest into? You got the Steam decks out here. You already got Asus with their before this. Now you got this coming out. Then you got Xbox rumored to be making one in a couple of years. It's like it's only so many handhelds I'm gonna have laying around my room and on my desk. How many can you really fully utilize their full potential? But if this is something that's really dope and a real dope hybrid, and the price is really competitive, I would be in there to support it. I won't just fully say I won't support it, but I just have to see because the way this title is read, Xbox new hardware plans gaming handheld set. It was as if Xbox was making their own dedicated, but this seems to
Yeah.
be more so of a partnership team up,
Yeah.
and I'm cool with that anyway. Xbox is growing to play anywhere and stuff like that, and play anywhere is dope. But personally, I want to play one place, and that's my Series X.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Play
think
anywhere don't really
this
move.
is a great foray into understanding how to best deliver an Xbox experience on a handheld, what that looks like, or just kind of understand and like test things a little bit, and also understand how PC gamers engage with their handhelds, because Xbox doesn't have a handheld right now. Microsoft doesn't have a handheld right now either.
Mhm.
So their Steam does, PlayStation has a handheld, Nintendo has a handheld. Obviously, ROG Ally has a handheld, like Asus. Lenovo handheld. So there's lots of people in that market, and I think it's going to be valuable for what we get delivered in 2027, um, for the official proper Xbox branded, made by Xbox handheld. Because from what we understand, like the Asus handheld is going to have an Xbox dedicated button on it. And I hope it's more in line with the updated design layout of the Asus handheld X. I think it's the X one. So the joysticks are actually closer to the buttons, so there's less travel room for your thumbs to go places. And I hope they have a more pronounced, like, I guess, hand grips. From what I've read and understood, it sounds like they are going to have more pronounced hand grips. But yeah, I'm excited. There's plenty of games that are on Game Pass, um, that I really want to play in a handheld format rather than sit
Definitely.
down and play on a console. For example, Octopath Traveler is the type of game that I would prefer to play on a handheld than playing on console. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my preference. Like, there are certain games I prefer to play on PC than I prefer to play on console, and there's certain games I prefer to play on console than PC, etc., etc.
For sure,
Yeah,
man. More places to play is never a bad thing. I
no.
just wonder, like, what's the time frame on handhelds? How long is they supposed to last? Because the Switch lasted a whole generation. My thing is money wise. If this is 400, 500, even 300, it's like okay, I buy this, and then Xbox comes with a really stellar dedicated handheld from themselves. It's like so now I'm having to trade or sell or so. Personally, I'm on a just wait for Xbox to come out with their own one. But this right here is really dope for people like you and people in the chat that really may want to support it. And like I said, I may as well too. If it's really,
Wait and
we don't know what
see.
it is. We literally don't know. It has not officially been announced. So I guess when we see what it is,
Mm,
I guess the headline just kind of set my expectations, thinking it was going to be a dedicated. This was the dedicated Xbox One. They was bringing it early, bringing it this year, and then it turns out it's like a hybrid one, but that's still dope nonetheless. I
mm.
just me personally, uh, I'm ready for the the first party handset.
Well, I think it's more around like they know that some people are gonna move over every generation or get every device, and then they know that people are gonna leapfrog through generations. Like they've got plenty of people who are on last gen who are going to wait till next gen to pick up a console. There are people who didn't pick up the original Switch and waited for different SKUs of the Switch before they jumped on that bandwagon. PC gamers are probably more likely to pick up a handheld that enables them to play their Steam games over a handheld that does not, so that they can still take their games on the go. So I think it's just understanding who your consumer is and how they choose to play their games is probably going to be the deciding factor as to what they want to do in that market. And us for gamers, whether or not we decide to upgrade every single gen or every single piece of hardware. Like for me, I traded in my Xbox One for an Xbox One X. I traded in my original 360 for the 360S, which actually had the Wi-Fi included in it and came with a dedicated HDMI instead of using the component ports. Yeah, so there are reasons. Like you'll get people who definitely trade things in and then upgrade as they go. But yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm going to wait and see because like 2027 isn't that far away.
Not at
And
all.
if I'm planning on getting a handheld and
It's
a
gonna be with
dedicated
my next gen
dedicated
Xbox. You
console,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. And it might be like you pick up a handheld and then pick up a different dedicated console. Who knows? Like I don't know what my gaming habits going to be like in 2027, so it's more of just wait and see. I know that I'll still be playing Fable though because I'll be obsessed.
Yeah. Just want to throw it out again. I was right about the Fable delay, everybody, and that's not to be gloom and
You
doom. I
were,
just knew it wasn't
yeah.
gonna happen. Once I seen Outer Worlds 2 coming, man, I just knew it wasn't gonna happen. And
Mm,
you know, Xbox got a
breaks my
little,
heart.
a little. It's been a kind of reoccurrence this gen.
They
Certain things.
moved because of GTA 6.
Hey, it might be. I mean, that's really coming. That's why this summer is so packed. We
Well,
got Doom, Death Stranding, also on
I
the
look at
side,
I look at Avowed
Midnight
and
Walk.
I see the patches that are coming through with all the bug fixes,
Hmm.
and all the quality of life improvements that they've been adding. And I'm like, some of these should have been there at launch. So I would quite happily go Fable be delayed because I want this Fable to
Hmm.
slap.
For sure,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Um, okay.
But I mean, how do you feel about the hand? I mean, the new next gen Xbox in 2027. Personally, I just feel like I'll be there to support it because it's 2 years from now. But it just feel like it's just weird because for like this gen hasn't really. I mean, it started, but did it really start? I don't know. It just feel like this. I don't know, man.
Felt like a half step, didn't it?
Yeah,
It felt
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I think the pandemic was a big thing in like sort of slowing down the momentum of this gen. But I feel like now we're at a point where a lot of technology is kind of caught up to what was delivered at the beginning of the generation. Like if these
Hmm.
consoles had launched now, fantastic. Um, that's why I'm kind of considering maybe I pick up the handheld first and then pick up the dedicated hardware later, like a year or two later. We'll see because FOMO is a real thing, and I don't know if
I
I
feel
can
like
ignore
cross
FOMO.
gen is going to be a thing bigger than like do people think this cross generation and last gen being supported was a thing. I think the P5 and Series X. Now the S is going to be tough to see. How long it be supported, but the X and 5 and Pro, I feel like
I
they'll
think
be supported
I
reasonably
think
long.
you're fine with the S because cloud gaming exists in the sense
Yeah,
of
that's true.
how
Yeah,
people
yeah,
on the Xbox One
yeah,
generation
yeah,
could
yeah.
still play,
Good point.
yeah, through the cloud. So I think that's going to be bridging that gap. But I do definitely think you'll probably see quite a bit shift over from the Xbox One gen that hasn't shifted over into next gen. Whether they pick up a PS6, whether they pick up a PC, whether they pick up an Xbox, um, who knows? It's very game is just game, right? We have no loyalties unless
I will
you're
say,
a crazy person.
me, I'm loyalty to consoles.
You're
Now,
loyal to your games,
I
man.
am. That's a fact. I'm loyal to my damn library that I own. God damn it, the hundreds of games on Xbox and PlayStation I own. So I will always be there to support anything Xbox console wise and anything PlayStation console wise for sure. And I'm hoping to get there at this point with Nintendo with supporting the Switch 2, and eventually just the big three, man. They hold it down, man.
Mm. Hmm. All right. All
Love
right.
it.
Well, is there anything else you want to add to that?
Nah, man, I'm interested. 2027 should be here relatively quick.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so this next news. Here we go. Hey, that's my boy. Hey, that's my boy. That's my boy,
Nice.
Mark, right there. Look at
Nice.
that smile, man. Look at that tech head nerdy smile, man. Everybody get a good laugh from my boy. Now, shout out, Mark Cerny. So basically, Mark Cerny confirms aspects of FSR4 is coming to the PS5 Pro, and I quote, "Our
In
target
2026.
in 2026," and I quote, "Our target is to have something very similar to FSR4 upscaler available on PS5 Pro for 2026 titles as the next evolution of PSSR." So I did a lot of reading into this, and what I found was really freaking dope. Behind the scenes, PlayStation and Xbox is both really helping AMD. They really like, and that's why this wanting to see one fail is idiotic because they're all bouncing
Agreed.
things off. They're all
Yeah.
it's the big three is really bouncing technology around off of each other and improving. Uh, Sony pretty much helped develop FSR4. And people, fanboys on both sides, idiots. This is why I separate. I'm more just happy for gaming than caring about wanting to see some shit fail. I'm NextGenNero for a reason. I love technology. FSR4 is really impressive. Before
Yep.
this came out, I was already reading and looking into FSR4. FSR4 is a huge improvement over 3, over 2, over 1. If uh, Monster Hunter
Well, if
Wilds had some FSR4 on there, it would be a lot clearer. So the
they,
fact that, I'm
I was
sorry.
just say that finally they leaned into machine learning AI upscaling like properly.
Yeah, yeah, and
So
and
much.
that's good because it's really rivaling DLS4. What is the latest DLS? Is it 3? Is it?
It's 4, but there's like 2 versions of it. So I think the CNN C something model, CNC. Oh, I'm trying to remember the model name. It it's better than that, but the other version, which I think is the I'm trying to remember the 2 names of them, but the other DLSS 4 is still superior. So there's 2 versions of the DLSS 4. It might even be on here. Does it talk about it on here?
To
Da,
me, the
da.
fact that it caught up is really impressive because
Yep.
we need competition all around the board. And if Monster Hunter is using FSR1. I can only name a few games that's really pushing using FSR2. I know Cyberpunk with CD Projekt Red, they've updated it. FSR3 is pretty much not even supported on console. So when people question why Sony made PSSR, I think it's smart and it's needed. Monster Hunter Wilds look really good. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 being able to run, thanks to the higher frame rate and the quality settings because of it is dope. And them helping develop this FSR4 is only going to help us going forward. By the time the next gen Xbox come here, FSR5 is going to continue to when that'll be here. You know what I'm saying by then. So
Yeah.
as it continues to grow, and I seen fanboys trying to. I'm more just excited for the technology. It's
Mm.
not about bragging rights. People need to just stop that because all of this technology is helping each other. They're not adding FSR4 to the PS4, PS5 Pro. Mark Cerny never said that, but he is taking what he learned from helping AMD develop FSR4, and he is applying
And
some of those
another
improvements
iterative
and
version of
techniques
the
exactly.
PSSR model,
And
yeah.
I have been playing the PlayStation 5 Pro and I have been enjoying it. It has definitely been behind the scenes improvement and iterations of PSSR. And for people to think that it's not going to improve is idiotic. We are on FSR4 right now. We all are on DLS. Every upscaling technology has grown and has improved.
Mm.
So Sony shit being out for not even a full year, of course they're going to have improvements. So the fact that they're taking some improvements from FSR4, which is really impressive, and adding it to PSSR next year, I think that's really dope.
Well, you
Um,
look at the tech demo that they showed with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and you understand that they definitely were using the model to help train. I mean, the game to help train the FSR4 model that
mhm.
they've got for the machine learning, and so that is why FSR4 looks so good. It's not supported on anything lower than. Oh my god, why is my brain just not braining today? It's not happening.
Anything, any like,
Anything lower than which version? It's anything lower than 3?
yeah, I think lower than 3. It's definitely
Uh,
not
can't
supported
take your word
in
for it.
console. To me, the biggest point, because I'm a console centric gamer, it's not supported in any of the consoles, and really neither is 3. So from that perspective, I really understand why PSSR exists, and I definitely in my heart believe that Xbox is working and already have their own maybe tweaked out version dedicated to their system for with
RDNA
FSR.
3, it's not available on anything that's RDNA 3 and lower, I think. It's
Mm,
only RDNA 4 models, right?
okay, yep.
Yeah, supported by RDNA 4. Um, so any if you're playing on PC, anything that's running on RDNA 3 or lower will still only have access to FSR 3. Um,
Shout out
anything.
to Chris Coleman, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for this. He said, I only know of 2 games with FSR 3.1, The First Descendant and Immortals of AVM. They even have frame generation from FSR 3.1. That is a fact. But those games is like, look at those games. No, First Descendant, I fool with the First Descendant. I actually want to get back into that. But Immortals of AVM isn't really too impressive. So it's like, when are we going to start seeing like that
Well, Models of
implemented in?
Avium came out before FSR 3 released, so I feel like if you look at it now with the FSR 3 models, it's definitely a vast improvement over how it originally launched. And I think that's going to be the case with a lot of PlayStation titles for the Pro that use PSSR. Um, the
Because
original, like,
outside
it
of the
was hit
usual
and miss. It was
suspects,
hit and miss. Like,
yeah,
some
because
games
outside
really
of the usual
took advantage of
suspects,
it.
they didn't like. I mean, Jedi Survivor has been poorly optimized everywhere.
They pulled it out in some games because they were like, no, it's actually making things worse. So I feel like the fact that the newer iterative improvement of PSSR for 2026 next year will also help prolong those who aren't ready to go up into the next generation just by making it look vastly better.
I will say
It does,
it is about 2 outliers that really no 3, and these games is already not really the on console that are really like it. Jedi Survivor is one of them that
but
was not optimized well all around the board. Now
mm,
Silent Hill 2 was the biggest disappointment for me personally. There's no excuse for that one, but I will say the complaints with it not looking the best or still the 30 FPS on Alan Wake 2, it's still doing what it's doing. The quality mode
yeah,
from the
I
PS5 and
mean,
is
it's
running at the
still
performance, and then
somewhat
it
an
added
improvement
ray
over the
tracing.
unit,
It's
right?
a huge improvement over the base consoles for Alan Wake 2
Hi, Red
because
Wolf. Well,
it's running the quality mode at 60, and then the quality the quality mode settings from the base consoles is in the performance mode now.
but
And then
this,
the new quality mode has ray tracing added, which is
yeah,
not on base
I
consoles.
mean, the
But
other side of the conversation here, though, is for those who picked it up day one, the Pro, and paid the $700 or paid somewhat nearly 800 US dollars to include the disk drive, to have a lesser version of
But I
what's
feel like
available.
that's kind of disingenuous though, because I'm one of them people. It's way more
I'm
impressive games
saying
there
no,
than
no,
don't
no. This is what I'm saying is the price tag isn't
letdowns.
fair.
You know what I'm saying?
The price tag isn't fair, considering you'll have to wait a year to get the next version of
But I'm
PSSR.
saying this current version now is already better than what current upscalers is being used in games on base consoles. PSSR currently is more impressive than the upscalers being used in games released right now.
Not
Uh,
necessarily true
and
there. It's hit and miss
Monster
per
Hunter
game,
Wilds is
Nero.
the
It's
but
hit and miss
I'm
per
saying more
game.
recent. I'm literally playing these games every day.
Yeah, but
I'm saying
you're also
recently,
upscaling from a higher internal resolution because of the power of the PS5 Pro, right?
but I'm saying
There's
that's the
still
point
held
of it
back in the
though.
CPU side of things.
I'm saying that PSSR used in the games versus this year. I'm gonna use Monster Hunter World for example.
Mm.
That game using PSSR is way clearer and better than the FSR1 implementation on the base PS5 and Series X. Me
Yes. Yeah.
personally, that's what I bought it for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To have a clearer image in my games while running at improved frames. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this year. It has
Because
one mode,
FSR isn't using
4K
machine
60.
learning, whereas PSSR is using machine learning, so they can train the model. What I'm saying here, though, my issue is that you paid so much for the console day one when it
Mhm.
probably should have been a little cheaper. I don't necessarily think it should have been $700.
I mean, I can only speak for me specifically, but
That's
I feel like it's
1,300 New Zealand dollars. Like, I
yeah,
just
I
don't.
can't speak for everyone, like, but for me specifically, I feel like it's way more than worth it because spending $500 on the Series X and PS5 day one was just as bad as somebody saying spending. You didn't have so many features wasn't there for the PS5 specifically for $500. No 1440p support, no VRR support out of the box, only 600. We're talking about a Series X 2 terabyte, $600. And I'm talking about for me.
Oh, yeah, I think
You
I
can
think
say the PS5 Pro
the
don't
hard
have a
drive
disk
is
drive.
stupid.
That's important too.
The hard drive prices are stupid.
But I'm saying if the base PS5 is a bigger scam than what people make the Pro seem, and that's been my biggest take all generation. You know, I've been saying my point of not buying a PS5 until this generation. I did not like the $70 price tag during the pandemic. I felt like that was really scummy. I feel like that wasn't the right when they because 2K did it, EA did it, but when they followed, I felt burnt. Jim Ryan being in there, his direction, as you can see with all these cancel live services and him pretty much being the inside, bringing the shit to the ground.
I mean, I
That
will
too,
say
inferior hardware was another
there is an
reason. So
improvement, with the Pro around VR being native on the hardware than the software implementation on the Pro base model, but Xbox had that at day one anyway. They had the hardware implementation of VRR, they didn't have software implementation. So PS5 Pro, I still like the fact that when you call something a Pro and it doesn't have everything that the base model has and more,
but
unless you pay
what
extra
doesn't it
for it.
what doesn't it
Unless you pay extra for it, like the disk drive.
Oh, you talking about
Calling
this?
it a Pro, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I,
Like
I
that's what I'm
I
saying.
I
Like
agree.
I
I agree.
yeah. So the fact that if you wanted to have the Pro with the disk drive, you're spending upwards of $700. So
I just
13
think like because we
that's
had this
my issue there.
conversation last year. Shout out Retri. We had this conversation like I just think it's a digital future. Period. I think it is bullshit
I think
that,
it's
but
a
I mean,
digital
but
future, but
the Series X has a disc drive, but how many first party Xbox games is getting physical releases?
it's for the backwards compatibility, Nero.
No,
Because
I'm not disagreeing
until
with
they
that.
have a
What
step there
I'm
to go, you've got all these discs.
No, I agree. I agree.
How
I'm
do
just saying,
you
like as a
bring those
whole, I
forward?
think a lot of people is just moving towards digital. I'm one of them
Yeah,
people that
they have
was
the market
I was
trends for
pro
that.
digital. Over the last year, I was saying screw physical for the longest. But the more I gamed, the more I'm like, damn, I do wish my disk drive didn't just go out of nowhere on my X.
Yeah.
I'm really considering getting a disk drive for the Pro. And the hot take, I think going forward, what my disk drive not working, because it's not just me. Shout out to Reese in the chat. His disk drive stopped working on his Series X as well, out of nowhere. That's him. And then I got a cousin who disk drive. That's three of us. So it's
Mm.
not just me. That's three people I know who disk drives just stopped working out of nowhere. At that point, I would rather have the Sony approach to go buy a disk drive for $60 and attach it to my Series X versus having to ship it in or take it to a shop. So it's like from that point, it's some benefits and drawbacks with
Yeah,
everything.
but they could have had a model which was included in it because obviously with the slim edition, right, of the PS5 Pro or PS5 base model, you have the option to add a disk drive on if you want or not. And yes,
Yeah, I think that
that
definitely
can go forward
should
with
have
the
been a thing.
Pro, but then like you can attach it to the Pro, but then you don't have the faceplate to go with the Pro for it.
Yeah.
Oh no, yes you do.
I'm not
They attach it in there.
I just want to make this clear. I'm not disagreeing with you. I
Yeah.
agree with everything. Like a disk drive should be in there. That should have been there day one. But all I'm saying is I just don't think enough people give a damn about
I know they've got the research
about
in there to go at
yeah, you know what I'm
for it.
saying? But I feel like it's a double-edged sword because I can say this that hey, people don't care about, physical games Panda, people don't care about the disk drives, but how can I say that when the disk drive has been sold out for so long? I've legit been on the browse for a disk drive. When I went to the mountains of Tennessee recently, Panda, on the way back, we stopped at probably about 2-3 Best Buys just to check. Because I be seeing so many cheap games now on
Can you
Amazon,
find
and
them
I'm
from
like, yo,
scalpers though at a ridiculous price?
I'm not doing that. I look,
I know,
listen,
but that's the other side of it
probably
is
can,
the fact
definitely.
that you have this other issue now with scalpers. So, like, they've been able to scalp the Pro and the disk drive of two separate things, which is a pain in the ass. I hate scalpers. No, all I think is like it just feels a little bit sad for those who picked up the Pro day one to not have the best version of the machine learning available from day one, because if they had delivered the other version of PSSR now, like when it launched, you wouldn't have had people going, wait, pause, I'm trying to look at the difference between like the old version and the new one. It would have been a lot more obvious,
But
and
can
you
can
would have
I ask
got
you
more
something?
sales off the back of that, because the way they marketed the Pro versus the base model, it was really hard to see the definitive improvements. I know that when we're looking at it on screen, there is compression happening on YouTube and things like that, but it's still like there are some games that really show it well. But if they'd had that PSSR implementation, the newer version from day one, you would have had a lot more people going, okay, I can definitely see why this costs this much. I'm going to go pick it up.
Because I got a question. Like, if the current version of PSSR is the best upscaler available for all of the consoles right now at the moment, then I personally feel like then it's doing its job. I feel like the bad apples that because like I said, it's not like you can name 10, 15 games that's poorly. It's literally on one hand you can count. And it's games that's arguably was already poorly optimized prior to being like uh Alan Wake 2, I love that game. That's one of my favorite games this generation. That game is a physically motherfucker. That shit fizzle all around the board, man. If you look at the ground, it look physically on the Series X,
Mm.
on the PS5, on the Series S, it's
That's
physically. So that
purely
game,
purely because that upscaler is not machine learning, right?
I, I'm not sure. Like
No,
for that
FSR
specific matter.
3, FSR 2 are
Which
not machine
FSR was they
learning.
using for Alan Wake? Was it 2?
I've probably 2. It's not machine learning. So they were trying to do trying to do it without machine learning. DLSS has been machine learning, which is why it's smashed the hell out of AMD's version every
And
single
but see,
time.
that's the point. So if we
Well, we
have
know.
games that's struggling like that on base consoles, then especially because you got to realize if it's looking like that on the X with my eyes, it's 9 times out of 10 it's looking worse on
Yeah,
even
but the difference
on the
between the
PS5.
X and the Pro isn't as bad as you think it
No,
is.
no, no. I'm not saying the X and the Pro. I'm saying if games is looking like that to my eyes on the X, it's gonna look worse on the PS5.
Oh yeah,
So the PS5 is
and
looking
even
worse than
worse
what's
on the
already on the
Series
X.
S.
Oh, exactly. Even worse on the S. So I'm saying going from the PS5 to the Pro, not including the X, just
I
from
know you're
that
saying like the
over
difference, which is
there,
why you
it's
immediately
extremely needed. It's
traded in
extremely.
your base model PS5 Pro for base model PS5 for the Pro, and you saw a significant difference
It's extremely
around
needed.
that. But all I was
Um,
saying was the marketing for that for the Pro was just felt very disingenuous based on what they showed. If they'd showed the newer version of PSSR, which we
but
won't
what
see
I'm
till
saying is that
2026.
that version that was there day one is more like what it was doing with the
No,
games though.
yes and
Ratchet
no.
and Clank was impressive. All the
Like
Spider-Man games was
to do a quick
impressive.
to do a quick scan, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
impressive. You had to really look. That's the marketing that was on
Run,
that game. On what
running,
they showed for the Pro was you actually had to specifically look. They only showed specific games,
but I'm not saying what they show. I'm saying
and
from like
performance
what's
wise,
actually here though. Like because I can go through them. That's what I'm not trying to just. I'm saying from first hand impression. I played and beat.
agree to disagree about the
I
price point of the Pro
I'm
versus what
not
they
the
delivered.
price. I'm saying like what the console's actually doing though. I'm saying it's living up to what they promised. Yes, we have a few outliers, but I'm telling you from playing these games and beating even the ones that are bad, it's way more impressive and huge improvements as far as being able to play these games with higher quality modes at 60, 70, 80 frames per second. Last of Us, those games, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man, and the games that are not
Those are
impressive, they
all,
are.
like, first-party
Yeah,
games,
I
though,
know,
so
but
they've
I'm
had
saying
more time with it.
even third party games
Mm.
impressive. I'm saying, but the ones that are not are already games that wasn't impressive to begin with. That's all I'm saying. If you're expecting the PS5 Pro to be a magic machine and clean up games that was already poorly optimized off rip, then I don't
They
know what to tell
marketed
people.
it like that, though.
But
That's
the
my
common
issue.
sense is that's not what consoles is never going to be able to do that. Period. So for people to think that, you know what I'm saying, is and then but at the same time
Mike, do you wanna
it
elaborate
is
what you mean
games.
by DF saying otherwise?
But I mean, because it is games where it lives up to what they're saying that they wanted it to do. With Final Fantasy Rebirth, if I was playing that shit on a PS5 base right now instead of a Pro, that should be blurry as hell.
But that's not just the PSSR coming in there, that's the brute force of the graphical side of the
It's a combination of all though.
16 teraflops because you're still held back by the CPU.
But I'm
So
saying
you've
that's
already the fact that you've
exactly, but
already
it's
got a
supposed to be a
higher teraflop
combination.
GPU running that is enough to immediately see an improvement from the base unit, regardless of the PSSR implementation or not. What I'm saying here is PSSR was not impressive based on what they sold you. Yes, it's impressive when you look at it across the board from other areas, but the way they sold it, not impressive around
Well, I
that.
feel like
And
you can
that's why
say
I'm
that
saying, like,
about
the next
every.
version in 2026 should have been the one that they released day one
And
for the
I'm not
PS5
disagreeing
Pro.
with that, but I'm saying that's, to me personally, what I'm expecting and what I bought into. I feel like that's just common sense. You know, when you go buy a Nvidia
Yeah,
card or when you
yeah.
go buy an
Well,
AMD, like you get sold on a
you
version of
upgrade
FSR or you get sold
upgrade
on a version of DLS just for it to be upgraded. And
Well,
most
we
of the
were
time
all
when
sold
it
on
most of
FSR,
actually
right, this gen? We were all
what
sold
PC,
on
if
it.
you think about it, it's actually thank God we're not being left. Look, for to use FSR4, you can't even use it on a RDNA 3. So literally on PC, it's even work. You get left behind. At least with the PS5 Pro, you're getting improvements, but you're not getting left behind. It's getting an update. You know
You're
what I'm
getting
saying? So
a
I'm just
different
saying
version to
personally.
FSR4, which is important. They have the ability to do that, which I like. We've seen the ability for them to upgrade from the original version of FSR1 to 3 on the consoles over time. But we initially, when FSR was first spoken about, the idea and the concept of it, people were sold on it because of what they'd seen with DLSS, right? Even FSR was something that people were sold on around, or not FSR. I'll get my wording out right. Were sold on that, but the implementation wasn't successful, and AMD had a lot of learning to do. And obviously, they've spent the last how many years based off FSR 1, 2, and 3 improving their ML model to deliver FSR4 in concert with PlayStation helping train the model with their games. We know that Microsoft is working on machine learning on their end as well. But I was just saying it kind of feels like you were a little bit like a beta tester for the original version of PSSR. I mean, it wasn't ready to deliver until 2026.
I'm
But
not disagreeing, but I feel like I'm a
yeah,
beta tester for everything at that point.
I think we were all beta testing
For
for
everything, I'm a beta
FSR.
tester for FSR, for PSSR. That's what
Um,
I mean. Like I look at it around the
that's why I
board
said,
as and to be clear, like when I speak, I'm just speaking from firsthand experiences.
yeah.
Like I beat and played Resident Evil 4 remake on my Series X. I
Mm.
played with the quality mode in 4K with with ray tracing on, with the hair strains on, with unlocked frame rates. I was running around 50 to 60 most of the time, 50 even dropping to 40s. I have a VRR counter on my display. I just beat the very same Resident Evil 4 remake because I'm a gamer. I double dip. I support games I love and I replay, especially if it's to get rewarded for achievements and trophies each. I double dip. That's me. And people don't do that. That's cool. But the same settings that I just said I was getting 40 and 50 in. I'm getting 80 and 90 frames and on the PS5 Pro. I get it's not for everybody. It's for the enthusiasts. I am a tech enthusiast. For me, it's doing what I wanted it to do. Because that same 60 and 40 that I'm getting on the X is arguably even worse on the base PS5. So from that perspective, I'm only speaking on games I played. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna speak on shit that I didn't play. Like
I think it's a half.
The Spider-Man games is really, really impressive. You know, even games that haven't been updated. I know a lot of people probably don't fool with Saints Row. I like the Saints Row reboot. Shout out to the homie Reese. He gifted it to me because he's a huge Saints Row fan. He wanted to play co-op when it first dropped. That game has 8 modes. The modes that really matter is the 1440p ray trace ambient occlusion mode. And all of the modes is unlocked. On the Series X, that was running around 50 frames, 40. The 4K mode was running at 30, 37. On the Pro, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
You would expect it to be pushing more because of what
I
it's
just
got
feel
on
like
the
personally,
box.
I can't run around and scream from the rooftops for the past year because I'm not like a lot
Yeah,
of
well,
these other people
you've
out
got no
here.
choice but to talk around that when you're looking at a system that launched into last year versus systems that launched 4 years earlier.
No,
So they're kind of
I'm
held
just
back
saying like
by the
to me
time
it's
that they
more about
launched.
being consistent and keeping it real. I've screamed from because if people really listen to me and pay attention, then they would know. You know, people can say that I'm switching stances and shit. Nah, that just let me know you're not really paying attention and listening to what I'm saying. I've been screaming from the rooftops from the past year how weak and underbaked the PS5 was.
I know, and I
And
agree with you.
I've been screaming that. So for me to I'm still
Why
screaming
I
that.
didn't
I
buy
still
one.
stand on that. That's exactly why I haven't bought one either. I honestly I seen what the PS5 Pro is doing and how weak and underpowered and underwhelming to me personally the base PS5 was. I fully feel like the $700 price is worth it. I'm mostly digital now, forced to be digital because my Series X disk drive stopped working
Die.
to begin with out of nowhere. So I'm a digital guy. So the disk drive, that shit don't mean nothing to me. People don't
I
point
don't
out
use
that
my
you're
disk drive
getting,
much unless I'm playing backwards compatible games.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then like the fact that I can get one down the line is really dope. And I do hope Xbox have like a kind of hybrid shit like that. That would be dope. I think the attachable disk drive um is dope. But you know, the 2 terabyte storage. I paid $200 for
I
my
don't think that that is fair around the price
I
of
paid
those.
$200 for my expansion card on my Series X. So for
Yep,
my
not worth
Series
it.
X, I got it for $500, and I paid $200 for expansion card. I paid $700 for my Series X, and my
Not
fucking
worth it.
disk drive don't work. And I paid $700 for the Pro, and that's all I be trying to get across to people. When it comes to my hobby, and when it comes to me, I'm a console centric gamer. I'm not judging people who go pay
Yeah,
two
but
thousand dollars for a graphic card.
I'm
You
not
know what I'm
talking about
saying?
it like, I'm not talking about it as a because I understand your opinion and how it makes sense to you. I'm talking about it generally, objectively, around like in reality, like in the real sense of for the general public who aren't like you, around the value that it shows. People looking at it from the outside don't see the value the way that you see the value.
But actually, I think it was not made for them people. It's made for people like me, for the tech head enthusiasts of console side of things. Like if you're a tech head, if you want the best, if you want to play games at the
Oh,
best that can be played on console currently on consoles, then the Pro is the place to do it, and the X is the second best place to do it. Period.
yeah,
It's no way around it.
when you're looking at it from the console market, yes.
And that's how I look at it. I
Um,
am a console centric gamer.
it
That's
still
how all these,
feels like a half step between what I feel like they could have delivered.
because it is a half step.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It's a
I
that,
know it's a mid-gen refresh, but I mean, what I'm talking about that is PSSR. You sold this, and it was more wasn't as oh, okay. It was not as I need to learn how to sentence. It was more underwhelming than they originally kind of let on versus what you're actually going to get next year. What you're going to get next year is definitely going to be a massive game changer around PSSR.
and
Just
I
looking at
agree.
PSSR, yeah.
But what I'm
Um,
saying is PSSR right now today is still very impressive. Without even the upgrades that's coming
it's
next year.
I think it's impressive for the games it works on.
And yeah, but that's the thing though. It's way more games that it work on really well than it is games that don't.
Well, not necessarily. I think we're gonna disagree on that.
We got to really bring up a list because I'm from like it's
I'm not worried about a list. Like from what I've seen around it, it just there's definitely it could be more impressive than it has been, and I definitely agree. Like some of the improvements with it and some of the patching that has gone into some of the games definitely has improved with it, but I'm more excited
Because
about next year's PSSR
right
implementation. I was
now I
not
can
impressed
name
with it
on one
at
hand the
all.
games that don't run
I
good, and
Yeah, well,
that's
compared to
it.
the base
Because
model,
it's,
100%,
I'm just saying the games that
definitely a
use
path for improvement.
PSSR. It's probably about 5 games that use PSSR that is looking worse or not as good as it can. All the other 20, 30, 40 pro enhanced games. So what I'm saying is 40 good pro enhanced versions out of 5 bad implementations. To me, that's good. I don't know how we can say that's not good. Personally, like if you got 30 good pro enhanced games, I mean the store right now is probably about 40, 50 because it got a section. If only about 4 or 5 of those are poorly implemented implementations, to me that's still impressive. And then those 5 games that's poorly implemented is poorly all around the board. Even on PC,
Mhm.
Alan Wake 2 is heavy, Jedi Survivor is heavy,
Jedi Survivor.
Silent Hill 2 is that on, that's on PC, I believe. That's even on PC is heavy. Those same games that got bad PSSR has bad PC ports. Run like shit on consoles all around the board. That's all I'm saying. If it's way more impressive PSSR games if you was really to sit there and count them up. That's all I'm telling you. Yeah, it might be like, wow, that really look bad. The ones that look bad really look bad. So it might seem worse than what
The
it is. Like,
$200 difference, Lord Roughness. Yes, I don't see the $200 difference when I just look at the PSSR implementation. I definitely
and
understand where it comes from, the hardware side of things, but we're looking at a generation where this is the first generation where consoles have actually gone up in price rather than gone down in price. So you would assume that them using by like some of those components would have gone down in price, and we haven't really seen that. Um, the improvement with the Pro would be the hard drive size, 100%. Um, yeah, it's just PS6. I think I hope they really do right by everyone for that, because that is a console that I do want to pick up. Um, and that means give me an option with a disk drive day one.
And I and
And
I and I think
if
this
it's
is important because if we're gonna say in the beginning of the show that it's okay for Xbox to put out a hybrid handheld this year with Asus or whoever it is to get the data so they can do it for their own, I think it's perfectly okay for Sony to put out a pro console that's improved over the base one with a PSSR so they can have a stellar version of it for the PS6.
Well,
I'm
we've had
I'm
that
I'm
already
not
this gen with the Series
I'm
S, the PS5, and the Series X with FSR.
but
We've
that's
already
not
had
machine. You said that's
experience
not
with
machine learning though. If PSSR
that.
is
No, but what I
machine
mean by
learning, they
that
need to test it out, right?
what
Before
I mean by
before
that
next
is,
gen.
we've had that with VRR. They gave us FSR 1 and then learnt off that, then gave us access to FSR 2, learned off that, and then access to FSR 3. So it kind of felt like, we were talking about this anyway, was the consoles felt a little bit like beta testing up until that point. It's just kind of sad to see that
Because I'm gonna keep it a buck.
it's it's
FSR is
happening
ass, bro, on
the
consoles.
whole generation. The concept and idea of FSR was
A
fantastic.
really
The
really good concept,
implementation,
and I was really immersed in learning and really rooting for FSR because I'm like, on paper what it
we all
can do is really dope. I'm gonna be honest, it has been underwhelming and ass this whole generation. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. If
yeah,
the if Xbox was to do
not a
the exact same fucking thing Sony has did, if Xbox was to put out a Series X Pro and they had XSSR, I would be championing it just like I'm doing now. I would support it just like I do, and I would play. I guess at the end of the day, I'm just a console gamer. I'm always gonna go and play where shit can be played the best and support it.
I
Xbox, I feel
would wait
like
and
they're,
see if Xbox delivered a mid-gen refresh. They're not going to, obviously, this, but like I would be a wait and see, because if I'm happy with what my Series X is delivering and I'm not seeing the value add, then I wouldn't upgrade.
I'm happy with my Series X, but I mean, if the Series X is gonna, if the
You see
Series
the
X,
value add based
if
off
if
the
a,
the
if
base
the
model,
Series X
fine,
Pro
right?
came out, Panda, and it was running games that came at 30, like Hellblade and Starfield 60 immediately day one, or the Avowed quality mode was just at 60 on the Series X Pro. If those games, I mean, if a Series X Pro came out and it cut back on having to choose between, or if it was just doing, I would support that. I'm not gonna lie and say I wouldn't. Personally, I would.
I can't say I would. I would say I'd have to wait and see, just
I
based off
respect that.
like how they choose to market it and what they show are the improvements.
And that literally validates everything you've been saying this whole show. The fact that you said that you would hold and wait proves like everything you said was legit. You know what I'm saying from your perspective.
Yeah,
And me
thank
saying that
you.
I would jump in without even hesitating proves that I'm just a fucking tech head console nerd that's gonna go and support this shit. I'm sorry, I might be part of the
I'm a
problem, but
chicken, but I'm
I
also like
love I just love it. I love gaming,
mindful
man.
that I want to see value for my money, which is why I don't necessarily know I'm going to pick up that handheld unless I see value for my money.
Because you say you didn't have a PS4, right?
PS4?
Uh huh.
No.
See, and that's another reason I had to get a P5 Pro because I already had hundreds of digital games on the PS4, just like the Xbox. So it's like I just that base model. I always die on that hill.
Kind of
Like that
why I
base
wouldn't
model
like. I
just
hope
it's
the
not
disk
it.
drive stays because I'm happy. Like, and backwards compatibility happens, and they keep that implementing that because then I'll pick up all these cheap ass versions on disc and play them. Oh, old
Nah,
old
see,
old game market.
Chris Coleman and RSJ fan, y'all are cooking, man. The only way Xbox fan base got screwed this gen was with the price of external SSD expansion cards. I agree, but I feel
Yeah,
like it was around the board.
stupid.
Everybody got screwed. But that's what I'm saying. I paid $200 and some tax for my expansion card to go on my $500 X. I'm already at $700. So for me, if I'm not going to complain about doing that with my Series X, I'm definitely not going to complain about getting
Which is
a
why I
system
think
that can potentially
the
even improve some of the shit I play on my X. You know what I'm
Series
saying?
X digital edition for an extra, well, which has a 2 terabyte hard drive included in it,
Yeah,
isn't worth the price
that's
point.
yeah, that's six
That's not
hundred.
worth the price point. Not
Yeah,
to me.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
Where are we up to anyway? I don't even know where we're up to.
We basically we going into the Ubisoft horribly
Oh, stop the
mismanaged.
sad
Yeah,
content. I don't
yeah, the sad content. The sad content. It has to come, man.
Oh, and you even it's an IGN article. What
Yeah.
is
So do we got to bring it up? Let's not bring that up. I can just let's just talk. Let's just freestyle it, Panda. I can
I'll
freestyle
just
it.
bring us back to the two-person screen. I
Yeah.
don't
Let's
want
just look at zoom in on Mark Cerny, man. Just
to. Excuse
for
me.
roughness, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I have no idea where I cook. Thank you for saying I cook though. Like I just like yo, I got some really good ganja. You know what I'm saying? Mean Panda cooling. Sadly,
I'm sober. He's high.
yeah,
Loved it.
I'm high this show. If y'all can't tell, got a couple brews in me, man. I wish my drinking bud Retry was here. You son of a bitch. Have a beer for me when you listen to this. Love you, brother. Everybody in the chat, man. Love y'all, man.
Yeah.
So basically, this next story to sum it up is basically Ubisoft is shopping some of their IPs out, and Microsoft is in was in talks with trying to purchase some IPs. I think a Splinter Cell would go perfect with Xbox.
Yeah.
Already got the green aesthetic to it. That would be awesome. I will say this: I love Ubisoft. If they do end up, shutting down, selling off, I want them to sell as many IPs to Xbox and PlayStation as possible, and also Nintendo. Give them Rayman Legends, get them the Rabbit Bunny, whatever that joint is called. But Rayman Legends, all of like, sell those IPs, man. Don't let those great IPs just go dormant. Even with them right now, they already going dormant. Splinter
They have
Cell,
so many IPs.
they
It's
have a lot.
insane.
They have a lot. And I agree, even Reese, man. As long as you get Splinter Cell, it's only right. I agree. That's you gotta get that. Even Assassin's Creed, personally,
They would have to get. Do you reckon they would sell off Splinter Cell by itself, or they would sell the whole Tom Clancy IP?
I think you gotta sell that whole Tom Clancy IP. So that's how
Because
you're
like
gonna make the most money.
they've got the South Park games. They have got Just Dance. They've got The Crew, which I don't think needs to go anywhere. It can stay with
Mm-hmm.
them.
RIP the crew, man, because of Forza, bro. Like
Watch
Forza is such a
Dogs.
murderous.
So they've got Watch Dogs. I think they really need to go back to their roots with Watch Dogs. Yeah, I don't. I think Legion. It was an okay game. If it wasn't a Watch Dogs game, I would have been like, oh, yeah, it's not bad.
I hate the Watchdog games. Hot take.
You do,
But
even
but
the first one. I mean, the
I
first one was
yes,
really,
because they sold me
really
on the
good,
god darn it vision.
and they
And
lied.
they lied, goddamn it.
It was like the original Division showing, right? That was also a lie. when they
Yeah.
first showed what this game would look like, and it was like, "Oh my god!" And then when the game actually released, we're like, "Oh, okay, it's been downgraded."
I
Um,
will say how they can win me back, Panda. I think we have the technology at hand for them to deliver what they originally showed us nowadays on modern platforms. If
I
they
think so.
remake the
I
first
agree,
Watch Dogs and reboot it, reset it, and
yeah,
deliver what they showed us, I'm in there.
100%.
I support that.
100%.
I agree, Becca. The Crew Motorfest is a great game. It's just not Forza Motorsport. I
Yeah,
mean,
like,
Forza, not Forza,
Microsoft
Forza Horizon.
would never bother, like, if they went and got that, I'd be like, "Why would you pick up that IP? You've already got a
Yeah,
fantastic game that trounces and
I think
destroys."
PlayStation should get that. Maybe
Yeah, yeah,
try to get your
maybe.
own version of a.
Well, what are your thoughts around potentially Tencent, doing a whole heap of purchasing of this? Would you be for it or against it?
I wouldn't really be too for it. I just feel I would feel more comfortable with Xbox and PlayStation having either one of them or Nintendo. Just the big three that
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with and
I don't
trust.
know, EA was also looking at some IP there, and I was like, "EA, you stay away from it. See what you can do with IP. Don't touch it." Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
EA need to focus on what they already got.
Mhm.
They
They
got
just
enough
their own shit
things on
out.
their plate. Worry about Apex that's dying. Worry about Battlefield,
Make sure that they freaking get Mass
Mass
Effect right.
Effect. Yeah, exactly. Mass Effect. Dragon Age is hanging on by a thread. Might be a
Yeah.
dormant IP going forward. Shit, they might be wanting to sell that. Who's to say?
They ruined, like, the RPG element of Dragon Age. It needed to be deeper like the first game. Yeah. And then the second Dragon Age was literally just you being in the city, and I was like, it's kind of sad that they couldn't make it anything bigger. I enjoyed Inquisition. It just was it had Ubisoft bloat in it. I feel like
Yeah,
EA was like, let's take some Ubisoft bloat and put it into our game, and they did it. It was a good game, minus the bloat. Um, my only concern around this, because I would love them to grab Splinter Cell. I would love them to pick up more of Tom Clancy's games. Whether Prince of Persia should be in there. I think they're going to hold on to Assassin's Creed. I think they're going to hold on to Tom Clancy's games anyway. And maybe they should just do a collab with someone and co-develop or co-pay for Splinter Cell or something. Kind of like what Microsoft is doing with Ninja Gaiden 4.
hmm
Um, but my thing is, like, Ubisoft holds the rights to cloud distribution in Europe for
yeah,
Microsoft
yeah,
cloud gaming. And if someone goes up and just picks up all of Ubisoft and ends up grabbing that in there, are they going to do right by that? That's my biggest concern. I assume that there's contracts and certain things that they would have to adhere to, but I would still prefer Ubisoft to be in control of the cloud gaming rights in Europe for Microsoft's cloud gaming. It would be nice to see Microsoft pick it up, get their cloud gaming rights back, but I don't think that's going to, for the competition world, I don't think that's going to be the case.
yeah. You never know though.
You
You
never
never know.
know.
That might have been a part of their plan. Phil and the boys might just be thinking 30 steps ahead. They might have foreseen all this coming. So did the Ubisoft because they know they would be selling it right back to them down the road.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. So if you want to move on, we can.
Have any of the IPs been purchased yet? I don't know if Tencent got Splinter.
Nah, I haven't heard of anything
I
being sold
have
yet.
no clue. The Driver series is sitting in there. Um, there's so many
It's a
IPs
lot.
that Ubisoft has.
X
Um,
Defiant, Retro favorite shooter.
yeah, I mean, that's gone. That's gone. Hey, you enjoyed that for a little bit. Don't
No,
deny
I did not, man. It looked horrible. It looked like a Series S less game on my X. It just
it.
did not. It was
But hey,
ugly.
you at one point said, all right, I am enjoying it, but it definitely was, it needed something extra to really keep it going. Yeah,
Better than Concord.
yeah, that's true. Better than Concord. I mean, it lasted longer than Concord anyway.
Yeah. Isn't it Death Date coming up soon anyway? In May or something. Like I don't know. You gotta
Yeah.
have a
So
funeral.
But
So
they're
for
giving all their money back. Anyone who purchased anything, going back to the gamers. So it's like,
that's you and Rush, you get your hundreds of dollars back.
I didn't spend anything on that game, Andy. Not a cent. I played it for free. The only thing I
RP
can't get back is
Xustified.
my time.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the one thing that we really wish we could get back.
Because I was like, I could have been playing something else. No.
All right,
Um,
guys, y'all know I'm really excited for these. Look, basically these next two topics, man. I'm super fucking psyched for, man. So, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake is reportedly set for an immediate reveal soon, and it's coming soon after the reveal. If this is true, man, I'm. Let's go. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's go. Right. Let's go.
I am excited because it's just going to hold people over till Elder Scrolls 6, right? We're probably not going to see that till next gen. Or, yeah. So,
A hot take. If if it's pro enhanced and runs improves on the pro, I'm buying it full price over there. I don't give a fuck. I will support Bethesda any day of the week. They can have my money. If this is as long as it's not $70 remake, yo, that shit wild. I'm not doing no $70 remakes, man. Unless I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on what they do, man. Because I'll pay for a Skyrim $70 remake. So I can't even say that. You know what I'm saying? And it's UE5, so I got high hopes, man. UE5 games has been looking good.
you say you're picking up Oblivion on Remake on the Pro?
Only if it's enhanced. Like it got it. It got. If the enhancements is not worth it, then I'm in Game
I
Pass.
do think that the PlayStation needs to really go and improve their PS5 Pro enhanced stuff because we saw that label get pulled off MLB The Show because it was on there by mistake. I'm like,
Mm. But MLB, it's like, what the hell is like that for me?
It
And I
doesn't
see,
need a pro
and
and
that's what I'm saying. And I seen so
need a
many people
pro
running with it.
announcement like thing,
I'm like, what
but
is
you got to
you
make
know?
sure that your advertising for it is correct. The fact that it on the store was saying PS5 Pro enhanced is a little bit misleading, and that's all I was just saying because it's not enhanced. But I hope it's enhanced. I assume hopefully they've had time to enhance it. It might come in a patch later, but if you buy the hardware, then you should immediately get access to the benefits of that hardware. Like when you play on PC, you upgrade your GPU, you upgrade your CPU, you don't have to pay anything extra, and you get the benefits of the upgrade immediately. And you just adjust settings in your settings menu. And I think there's some work to be done in the console space to do that.
Yeah. But
Um,
at the same time, though, consoles always got that consistency for the most part because there's been a lot of bad PC ports this year, man.
yeah,
A lot of bad ports. Even with Monster Hunter, as bad as it
which is
ran around the board,
confusing.
it's still
It's
the best
made
place to
on
play
a
Monster Hunter
PC
right now
first.
is to be on console. The best place to play Monster Hunter right now is on console. A Series X, PS5, or PS5 Pro.
It's the same with every PlayStation port has been the same. Was the best place to play was on the console
On the
because
console.
the optimization wasn't great on PC. But like all these games are made on a PC and then ported to console, which is kind of disappointing that you see the fact that they can't get the optimization right. I mean, it is a lot harder to optimize because you've got so many different types of PCs out there. So I
But isn't the PC they use the game kit, the dev kit, isn't that more tailored around being closely matched with the console period?
well when they port it across and put it on the dev kit, yes, that's designed for the system. So they only have to do it to one or two SKUs per console. Whereas PC, you've got AMD and Nvidia, and then you've got Intel in there with the CPUs, and so you've got so many different components. You've also got people dealing with different types of RAM, um, people playing off mechanical hard drives versus SSDs, and so it does all the little things impact how a game performs on PC versus how it would perform on console. And so that's why you see all the minimum specs for console. I mean, for PC coming out, but it's kind of sad that the optimization is still not great. Um, But I think that's where AI is going to come in handy. A lot of bug fixes and optimization can be done using AI.
Oh yeah, I also wanted to say, not Satya Nadella shared an AI thing that's Xbox Copilot. That shit look cringe as hell, man. I'm all for
When you
improvements
say
because
cringe, you mean the
the
voice?
the voice is definitely,
Voice is cringe, yes.
and I think it's a better way to implement it because Sony does it. They got the tips where it's like game hints and stuff like that. Like you can use that. You don't have to. Hey, what do I do to get through this Resident? What is this Resident Evil puzzle? I feel like you don't need to do it as far as that. Like you're talking to
But
Jarvis and
that's
shit like
you,
that.
right? That's for you, right?
Yeah, me personally.
You wouldn't use it, but there
Yeah,
are some people
personally.
who look up and watch the guides and read the guides to get through everything. Um, I don't like the voice on it. I think the idea and intent behind it is better and more thought out than what PlayStation originally did with the cards, because the cards got are no longer being used. I think with AI, you've got a more accurate representation of what they're able to provide. But I really don't like the voice. I hate it.
I mean, even when he asked something and it got looked up, it's the basic shit that Google would bring up. Like it's not like they really
Well,
gave an
Google now
in
has
depth.
AI implemented it into it anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the description because I when I watched it, he asked a specific thing, and I was expecting him to give like an in depth description of what to do. It was just like kind of like just bringing up typical guy articles from the
Yeah.
web. So it's
Do
like
you
it's not
want someone
really.
to tell you bit by bit? You could probably request it to go, hey, can you give me a step by step guide for it? You could probably be more specific. It's like anytime you deal with AI,
I don't know. I
it,
just feel like if you're gonna point out being able to ask AI to help you with a guy, it should pop up some really flushed out, cool,
that's its first
intricate
showing,
shit.
right? It's probably got more to come. They're just showing you in general what the possibility of it is. They're not showing you how like all the different iterations of what you can do with it every situation, because they would take forever.
I don't know. I just feel like personally, I would rather them focus on enter getting it with the Xbox UI currently. Like if you just hover over some shit without having to, I don't know. I just feel like that was unnecessary for what they could currently right now be implementing with the UI. Even like bringing that, like you bringing that, but what's up with this DVR system, man? I've been complaining about it for 2 generations now, and I'm gonna continue to complain about it because I'm a content creator. There's no reason why it should be easier to create
It'll be a
content on a
different
PS4
team
than
working on
whatever.
Copilot implementation versus everything else they're
No,
working on.
I'm just saying, like, I just feel like that would, me personally, I'd rather have them working on improving
DVR.
the current UI as a whole around Xbox. I'd
Yeah.
rather that be their focus than this
Well, I think
AI
that
acting
what's going
for
to be their
guys and
focus
shit.
on
That's just
the
personal.
next version, because they talked about how they're going to make console and PC for Microsoft a lot closer. So I feel like that's where we're going to see the next iterative change for the UI. And then the implementation of Copilot into there is just going to be native from there. I think as an initial starting point for adding tips to the console, which it hasn't had in the past, this is a great first start. As an announcement, there's a lot more to go on there. Like the voice, get rid of it. Give me
Yeah,
give me
that's not needed.
Cortana's voice.
I just think a
Someone's
more
voice that isn't
simplistic.
that.
I think a more simplistic, homed in approach would have been better. Personally, man, I just think
Yeah, well,
like
I
because
mean,
I think it's dope. Like because I like
take
to
some
complete games
feedback.
sometimes. I like to complete games, and if they implement it in where it gives you more live tips and maybe even a little guide, because the way PlayStation do it is really fucking dope. I
They
wish they
probably
could just
will.
copy
I
that shit
assume
one
it
for
might
one.
even bring back the split screen, like how we had Snap, but it's its first implementation, like showing of it. We don't know what they're going to do with it, continue to do with it, um, including its evolution. And yeah, it's just its first showing, and they're going to listen to feedback.
Yeah, when I seen it, I was like, get this shit off my screen. What is this?
Well, it's
It's
not for
cool. It's a
you.
cool concept though. For
Yeah.
those that it is for. Just like PSSR for those that it is for that. appreciate it. It's cool. Like I mean, more options all around in gaming period is really dope. Because like I said, I'm like, what is this shit? I just personally would like a more homed in, console centric UI focused AI implementation. That shit right there kind of was like kind of look to me. It just looked like you asking a
Katana.
Bing question or you asking a Google question to me. But more options is dope. Like you said, this is the first iteration of it. We'll see how it progresses, especially with the next gen Xbox. We'll see. Maybe that'll be really worked in well. Just when I seen it, I was like, that shit. Like I was like, I
It's
rather.
cringe. I
Yeah,
agree. It was
it's cringe as fuck. In
the
my
idea.
mind, I was just like, I 100% rather have a surprise update improving the capture system.
The
You know what
idea
I'm
behind
saying?
it and the intent behind it is good. I also am wondering where it's
And
going to pull.
Xbox always does that though. They one of the most accessibility pro accessibility option gaming companies out here. So I'm
Mm,
not really surprised for it. Like I said, it's not for me. Just like it's a lot of accessibility options Xbox do right now. That's not for me. It's accessibility options that PlayStation do. That's cool like that.
yeah,
It's just not for me. But when I seen it, I was like, yeah, the voice could do without. And then you had the perfect opportunity. You could have
to
just used
diffuse it
Katana
simply.
voice from Halo.
Yep.
Like, how do you miss opportunities for like that? That's so fucking stupid. If he would have asked him a guy and Katana voice from Infinite came in and did that, like that's just a common home. That's a home run, man. Like it's simple. Like yeah, come on, that's a
Yeah.
missed opportunity.
Um. Yeah, I agree. There's will be some licensing there, and probably having to get the voice person to come and do the voiceover and get permission to use it again for that. I mean, we had Cortana on Windows at one point, so I
Hmm.
don't see why they can't do it.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Um,
Double down.
just rename it Cortana instead of Copilot. Yeah, who
That
knows?
would be dope, man. An Xbox centric UI named Katana. Like I know they had it with the window phones or something like that in the past, but that nowadays, because I always feel like Xbox is ahead of the curve.
Hmm.
Even back then when they had the Cortana AI, that was just Siri before Siri. So it's like the concept was cool. It's just the way Xbox executes sometimes. It's like they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. This Copilot shit is really cool on paper, and even with what you're seeing is dope. But if you just added a little jazz to it, we can get a robot AI voice any fucking where. Set yourself apart. Think outside the box. And that's what I want all the companies to start doing. But it's dope. Um, the people that appreciate it would appreciate it. And maybe you can change the voice, Mike. Would have thought you could change the voice. Maybe you can, but if you could change the voice, I don't
They
assume the
should have
voice is
shown
going to
us
be much.
that.
Yeah, I was about to say, and even if you can, I don't think it's going to be much better than what the hell was on display. It's just going to be a manlier version of that or a girlier version of that, but it's going to be a robotic voice, man. But
Just give us something. I reckon they'll allow you to change the voice, but
yeah,
it sounded too AI.
yeah, too AI. And then AI got a bad rep around it anyway at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Unless we talk, I get apparently AI cool when we talking about upscaling techniques. You know what I'm saying? That shit cool, but God forbid, some AI in any other department. Because I know Microsoft patented some shit for AI a few weeks ago, and the internet was trying to give them backlash for that too. But I'm like, AI is just being implemented all around in every aspect. Whether you like it or not, it's just the reality. It's the future. We're starting to live in it. You gotta accept it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
my last takes on the Oblivion remake, day one, I support it. Um, I would
I'm
love
excited
that.
for it.
I'm super excited for it.
I
Uh,
never played it.
Me either. My introduction to Elder Scrolls was Skyrim, and that is my favorite game of all time. So to play the one that came before that, I mean, I would love it. And modern graphics, modern, a lot of people that really play a lot of Elder Scrolls always say that they like Oblivion more than Skyrim. And I love like Skyrim to me is my home heart game. Like that's my baby. That's my precious right there. Has
Mm.
yet to be dethroned. Some games have came close and swung, but it's just Skyrim is just special. Um, and I hope Oblivion remake is true. I hope it comes soon. I will support it. Take my money. I'm pretty sure it'll be everywhere, like most games is coming, and I just think it'll be really good. I think it'll sell well. And if Oblivion remake comes,
I'll be like,
I
why is it
understand the
sold out
favoritism.
everywhere? Nero bought every copy.
Yeah, I'm buying. I'm buying. I'm not gonna lie, yo. Um, Xbox. I don't know about you guys. Chat, y'all can Panda. You can put your 2 cents in. I gotta replace my Xbox eventually because I need that disk drive functioning. I'm probably gonna wait until
So
next gen. Xbox has been killing it with the cover arts. Yo, Doom cover art, amazing. South of Midnight cover art, amazing. Avowed cover art, amazing. Yo, that has me wanting to support physical games again. When I see the artwork on these games, I'm like, yo, I would honestly get, especially when you consider how cheap it'll be compared to digital. I'm like, yo, I'm slowly starting to change my tune.
my thing though around what's going to happen with next gen anyway is for those who have a version like a digital like a disc version of their games, they need to figure a way to allow people to take those with them because we know that Blu-rays and just DVD players aren't really selling and they're virtually stopping production of them. And so eventually we won't have the option to put a disc in and play it. And so they really need to allow people to have their disc and then it become digital so they can continuously play it moving forward when you don't have access to a disc drive anymore because it's becoming few and far between. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. Welcome. I think our last bit of
I agree, and I just want to double back to our conversation earlier. When you come at it from the preservation point of view, your argument about this drive being lacking on the Pro is really highlighted even more. Because I never look at it from the preservation point of view, mostly because I've been this entire generation without this. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at it as like a brush off afterthought. So I really appreciate you bringing that different point of view to light, making me look at, hey, it's deeper than just you don't use the disk drive, so it's not there. The game preservation is really important, so I agree
yeah.
with that. And fucking yo, also dope fucking artwork is important as well. Keep it up, Xbox. Like god darn,
100%.
yo. Like I am a digital guy, but they are single handedly like, man, that is just
Yeah.
man. Maybe I'll play all the games on Game Pass and then physically support them on PlayStation if they got the disc. I don't know. Maybe on sale, double dip down the line. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I,
Sell a kidney.
man, I just it look good. Like I said, the Doom artwork is some of the best I ever seen. South of Midnight just recently released a new little artwork, and I think it's like an Easter egg with a lot of the bosses in the background. If you zoom in and pay attention, it just looks so good. Absolutely.
Mm.
So I'm sorry, Panda. We can move on to the next topic, man.
I think it's our last thing that we were going to talk about. It's just Nintendo Switch 2. There has been a conversation around whether what they think the price is going to be. Quite a few people have said, and this
Oh,
is
was we
interesting.
not doing the
Analysts.
Silent Hill topic?
Oh, have I missed that?
Yeah,
Probably.
we don't gotta go too deep in there. I just want to
Well,
highlight
you
it.
can talk about it quickly because I have nothing to add
Okay, yeah,
to
yeah.
that because it will not be a game I play
It
because
really could have been quick news. I'm just
it
a
was a
Silent Hill
horror thing.
junkie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're a
I am a
Silent Hill
horror
junkie.
game.
Can we
I am a
quickly add
horror
it? Quickly add
survival
it. I mean,
fucker.
this last bit is going to be a quick conversation as well.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
definitely. Real quick, guys, the new Silent Hill transmission was announced on March 13th. It was a little show, and basically, man, they announced Silent Hill F. It is a new original mainline entry to the series. This is the first time it's taking place outside of the American town Silent Hill. I am extremely excited for this. It's day one. I got it wish listed on both consoles. It's pro enhanced. It's play everywhere enhanced on the series consoles. I'm in there. It's everywhere day one. After dealing with the BS timed exclusive remake of the Silent Hill 2, I'm loving that this one, the new one, is everywhere. That's a huge win for gamers all around the board. I
Agreed.
hope it runs great on every console. It looks dope. Looks unique, and it kind of looked like it was going to be a little clunky from one little section of the trailer. It was like it was hitting at some combat.
It's
I was like,
still in
hey, this look
development.
like two.
It's still in development.
Still in development.
RSJ, you said it's not exclusive to
Yep, it's
PlayStation.
not exclusive.
No,
It's
it is
everywhere.
not.
So hopefully gamers buy it. I don't know if you like horror games, Becca, but I definitely would recommend it. Silent Hill is and
This
a
show is
terror.
a horror game. No, I'm
The
kidding.
audio. All
uh,
right, so Panda, you don't play horror games, but
no,
would you check out some horror music?
probably not.
That makes sense. If you don't like horror game, guys, just check out the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack. Just
Yeah,
listen
no,
to
I
some
definitely
audio
won't.
from that game, man. It is heart it is heart and
That's
racing
what
inducing. It's just
horror
terrifying.
and thriller games do really well is, like, building suspense and the audio. You have to
Hmm.
have that so well done in order to then, like, visually and aesthetically and all that, the game will live up to it, but you need the sound to match it, if not surpass it as its own separate character in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, because Silent Hill definitely got multiple characters. The city itself, the town is a character. The characters within it is characters, and then the audio design is a
Yeah.
character as well. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. I just wanted to highlight that the trailer is on YouTube. Please check it out. Very
Death
dope.
Stranding 2 had that massive, like, 10-minute
Yes, Death
video
Stranding
trailer.
2. Did we talk about that last week, Panda?
I don't think we did we? I have no idea.
I don't think
That
so,
was
but
5
Death
days ago
Stranding
since
2,
that
yeah, that was,
trailer
yep.
came out.
Death
Just the
Stranding
tentacle
2,
coming out of that guy's mouth. Ugh.
yes, that was sick. Death Stranding 2 looks amazing.
It
I
looks
will
really good.
probably pick that up later this year. I have to finish Death Stranding 1. And apparently, Chapter 3 is by far the longest chapter in Death Stranding. And I'm a decent way into Chapter 3 of Death Stranding. So once
Well,
I
I
get
need
through
to
that, I'm
play
hoping
Death
I fly through
Stranding.
it.
I've got it. I need to play it.
I think you'll like it, Panda. Like, it's very
Well, I know
relaxing.
I think I will prefer the version that came out later than the original version, because the version that came out later had a little bit more, I feel, intensity around gameplay with, like, gunplay and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I saw the Death Stranding 2 trailer and I was like, "Alright, so this is how you announce a game,"
Definitely.
compared to what they showed with the original Death Stranding trailers, for the first game. But guess where it also showed up on, because I know he's a Konami, oh, not Konami, he's a Kojima simp, so it was on the Game Awards YouTube channel.
Of
I
course.
was like, of course it was.
It's going to
You
kill him
don't
having to
really
give
release any
GTA
other
Game of the
game
Year.
trailers for any other games, but
Right.
Kojima, we know you simp for Kojima, Jeff Keighley, so it was definitely going to show up on his YouTube.
I will say I'm
um,
starting to see why he get glazed the way he do, Kojima. I thought he was overrated at first, but uh, I clicked with Death Stranding back in the day, got distracted, and I reinvested and I clicked with it again. There's a reason I gave some copies away when it first came to Xbox. That game is I love it.
some games can really pull weird out of a hat, and I'm perfectly fine with it. And other
Hmm.
games, I'm like, nope.
Speaking of weird in the hat, are you excited for Midnight Walk coming soon in May?
Midnight Walk. Why do
It's
I know
that
that
it's that
name?
it's kind of like that clay animation game. I think it was showed at an X. Was it showed
Oh,
at an
yeah, I
Xbox?
think yes, I am actually. It looks creepy in the sense of, like, the way the art style is. Like, I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas and those sort of things. And I really enjoyed, which wasn't a scary game in any way, shape, or form, Lost in Random. And
Yeah, that
so
was a
that
good
was
game.
that art
I gotta finish
style.
that.
Yeah, so I really like that, like, claymation art style.
Mm-hmm.
So I am excited for that. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. Um, yeah, it doesn't look scary, so I'm fine with that. Like, I will never touch those.
Little nightmares.
Yeah, little nightmares. I was like, you knew what I was thinking. Thank you.
I knew it immediately.
But our last thing before we close out the show was just kind of rumored that the potential of the Switch 2 could be $400 or even $500 around it. So they reckon it could be $400 or $499 due to the upgraded hardware. Yeah. Would I pick it up? Really depends on the announcement though for it, because the next month we get to see the full announcement of the Switch 2, including understanding how it does its backwards compatibility, because it said, like, most games will be available through there, some games won't. And as long as every game I currently already own on my Switch is backwards compatible, then I will probably trade in my Switch and get a Switch 2.
Mm.
Yeah. Would you,
My,
you're thinking of potentially picking up a Switch 2, maybe, eh?
I'm in there. Period.
Give
Like,
me,
it's not even thinking anymore. I'm just in
yeah,
there since because there's enough games on the Switch throughout that generation that I was wanting to play that I never got to play for not
yeah.
owning a Switch. So the fact that the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, I'm already sold
Mhm.
because it's already enough games from the last gen that I want to play.
I
So
mean, the
I'm
fact
I'm in
that
there.
that's not usually the case for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pleasantly surprising to see they're doing that, but I think they really need to, considering how many people purchased the original Switch, the Switch Lite, the Switch OLED, and all the games on there, and people want to take them with them. Yeah, I'm excited.
I am super excited as well. And soon, one of these episodes, we'll be reacting to the official reveal.
I'm excited.
I am too. I'm hoping they add some type of achievement trophy style system as well, man. Because I love my trophies. I love my achievements. It's just so fun.
I like having a little thing just to go, oh, I've achieved something, because
Mm-hmm. I
it
love that pat on the back.
yeah. You
That
want a
sense of
regular
self
kind of
accomplishment.
cadence of it, and you're like, okay, cool. Especially when they do achievements right, like,
I really need a full completion acknowledgement from Xbox because the way Diamond's achievements hit, there's so much ore. Like it just feels so good, man.
yeah, I want like that's what I'm looking forward to about Fable though. Is I hope they do the achievements the way they did the achievements in the original 3 Fable games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said it a billion times, I feel like, on the show. Like, one of my favorite achievements I've got was the Henry VIII achievement: get married 5 times, kill 2 of your spouses. Um, like, there are
You're
some
evil.
ridiculous achievements in games that are just so funny. Like, a couple of the achievements that I got in Split Fiction, I was like, oh, I can't believe I did that, and I got an achievement for it. Yes.
I just had that moment. I destroyed a glass bridge, man, and everybody's
That's the
like,
one.
"Yes,
I was
yes,
talking
here
to
you
Peter. I
go."
was like, "Hey, throw me the ball." And he's like, "Why?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to test something," because I could see the people walking across, and I was like, "Smash!" And then they're like,
I'm
"Ah!"
happy you had that moment, right? With the moment with that achievement because we had the exact same moment. Now, mine was I was on PlayStation, so I got a trophy. That trophy captured that moment of me doing that, and it captured the audio of me and my homie Rizzy. That's all I want Xbox to do.
I
That's
think they
all. I
need to
just
do
want
something
simple
like that.
improvements, man. It's not pony
Um,
botting. It's not being attempted. It's none of that. It's
I
just
had to go
simple
back and
improvements.
manually record it. So I manually recorded after it happened. Yeah, but it was hilarious.
I would have
Hilarious.
loved to hear y'all voice in there, man. Y'all
Yeah, we
reaction,
were
like,
just pissing ourselves because Pete's looking at it going, Panda, you're so evil.
yo, I felt so bad because all the people was like, ah. I'm like, oh my god.
Sorry, spoiler.
I'm like,
Sorry,
no, yeah,
sorry.
sorry, guys, yeah, sorry. It's a game of the year contender. Go support it, yo. It's
Yeah,
it's it's worth playing. Plus, it's
three
super
three
early.
stones, one bird. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
We really think alike. That's a shame. We had the exact same. That's how you know that game is amazing. It really rewards the ADHD gamers out here, yo. Like we just could
let's
not help
just try fuck
ourselves.
around with this, and then bam, it
And
works.
just damn, it works so good. I'm like, oh shit, like
We're
even in
like,
the clip,
seriously,
like
they're not gonna
yo.
let me do this, and they do, because they probably thought like,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't want to say the next thing because that is also a spoiler, so I'm just gonna shut my mouth on
Yeah,
it.
I
But
ain't get there yet. Yeah.
I was like, no, you would have, because it's right after
Oh,
that.
really?
We'll talk about it after the show.
Wow.
Um, all right. Well, we're gonna close out the show. Nero, where can everybody avoid you?
NextGenNero, all platforms, man. Y'all know what it is. I know I ain't put up no reviews in a while, man. I've been chopping down this backlog, but AC Shadows, Rebirth, Split Fiction, man, South of Midnight, Doom, all those games I plan to review, plan to put out some content. Some more think pieces coming soon, man. So all platforms, man. I am seriously considering saying fuck Twitter at some point and just going to Blue Sky full time, but
Twitter's
I
just
don't
a,
know, man. Yeah, Twitter is just I don't know.
it's just toxic AF.
Yeah, I feel like Twitter don't appreciate real gamers, man. It's too territorial. It's too if you're not posting a clip of my preferred platform, I'm not gonna look, man. Dope
Yeah, it's
games
just
is dope games.
the
Grow up.
reaction if you post anything to do with something that's not their platform, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
get shitty. And then you've got people who are just super disingenuous.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And if you saw what was happening online between a couple of people, I'm not going to say anything. We'll probably talk about it after the show, Nero, because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
impact anything there. But I was just like, some people are scumbags. That's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to go have some lunch after this, and then I'm going for a nice walk because the weather is fantastic today. And then I will probably jump online. So you can find me on Xbox later this evening. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me trolling Nero every chance I get. No, I'm kidding.
Mhm. It make for good content, guys.
Does. It does. And hopefully Soul will be back next week. No promises though, because he's lots of things going on in his world. But he will try and make the show next week if he can. But we'll see about who we're going to have guest on the show next week. All right. Everybody.
Actually, I'm a backdoor him. Lyric say he's gonna try to make it next week.
Oh, Lyric.
So everybody, Lyric is the guest next week. Yeah, Lyric already said he's
Yes.
coming. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think he said he
Wicked.
got a
I love
problem with his gear,
it.
but
I'm
we
happy
don't
for that.
care. He's gonna have to be there.
Thank you everybody who watched us live today, whether you were on X, YouTube, or Twitch, and thank you to everybody who's going to watch us after the fact. If you do watch us after the fact, just put hashtag #FuckIGN in the comment section of the video to let us
Please.
know that you watched it.
Makes me keep
Yeah.
going and it motivates me.
We will see everybody next week. Have a good one. Stay safe and play some games. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.